Okay, now I think you all can hear me. Welcome everybody to the stream. I see the microphone is working now, so thank you everyone for joining us back at our stream again. We did miss quite a few weeks due to a variety of reasons, but now we're finally back. If you can hear me well, or if you cannot hear me well for that matter, if there's like volume issues or anything like that, if you can't see anything well, then make sure to tell me in the chat, of course. But I'm glad to be back here, honestly. It feels like it's been ages, even though it really hasn't, but I don't know. I'm just glad I can be back online and stream some nice Yu-Gi-Oh games with all of you together here and have some fun. Okay, so just a quick check again. I think the microphone's working nicely. Just gonna quickly have a look if everything on my end in terms of sound is working out well, but I think it is. It's looking good. It's looking pretty good. Let's open the emulator, let's run the game and see if we have any game audio. How are we looking? How are we looking? Alrighty, so there might be a few things that I need to change. Simply for the fact that... Oh. I am very sorry for that. So sorry for this. Yeah, I made a few changes on this PC in terms of like the audio setup that I use. Like now it's not going straight through the PC, but rather I have a separate audio interface connected. So my old interface I used for my main PC back in the day. Do we see the game as well? We really do not, but what could be the reason for this? Okay, now we're going. Okay, now everything's running. Everything's running fine. We can see the game. You can see me, hopefully, fairly well. And the controller is working. Awesome. So now one more thing left to do is to check on the user side if the stream is available, if everything is running the way it's supposed to. And we're also just quickly going to check that before we finally start playing. Okay. Ah, everything's looking good. Everything is looking nice and well. Let's put this here. Let's put this here. We can actually remove this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So how's everybody doing? I see we already have a few people that have joined us so far. How is everybody doing? Did you have a nice 2 weeks ever since the last time that we did some Capsule Monster action? How has been life going so far? Maybe I can tell from my side. Things have been fairly busy. Still, you know, lots of stuff going on, but mostly on the positive side, so that is very good. And in terms of gameplay, the last time we were playing as Salmon MUTO, which will be the quest we'll chase after today as well. We are already in Arena 3. We are about halfway through the whole campaign. 3 opponents left on the stage, and today we'll see how far we come, but if we are able to blast through some of the early enemies, maybe we will see the final area, and maybe even some of the final opponents. Yeah, but we'll see when the time comes. So what we need to do today is the following. We need to beat these 3 opponents, and we need to make sure that we distribute our points properly, because I think from Area 4 onwards, we might even be in a little bit of trouble due to Grandpa MUTO and the weird relationship between his symbol attribute and his monsters. Let me just do a few follow-up checks if everything is working out on this side as well, but I think we're good. I think we're actually pretty freaking good. Alrighty. Awesome. Okay, so with all of that being said, let's kick things off so we don't waste all too much time just talking. There will be plenty of time to talk while the game is running. So... second. Alright, I think this will be a good thing. So we have 3 opponents we can choose from, and Odon, of course, is nice in particular because we do benefit, or our symbol benefits from the map attributes, but none of our monsters do really. So we do have dark monsters that could overpower his earth monsters easily, so I think he might be a decent pick. We could also go for Pegasus though, so there's always that option on top of everything. So I'm not quite decided on how we should do things. Maybe we should start with Pegasus. So I'm thinking Pegasus could be a good pick. If there are no further objections to this, I think we'll start out with Pegasus and then get things going immediately. Alrighty. Let's go. This is, of course, an important revenge match in the lore, because as we all know, the earlier stages of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, Grandpa was kidnapped by Pegasus himself and locked into... Was it like an actual physical statue, or was it a card? I don't even remember. Doesn't matter, but we will take revenge, of course. It's old man against not as old man, even though the head is seem to say something else. But that's all fine. Okay. Let's immediately move to save slot 2, and we are gonna check first. Truth be told, since it's been a couple of weeks, I don't even remember the levels of our monsters. So we'll just need to see how things go. But since Pegasus also has a rather peculiar lineup in terms of... Oh damn it! We already have two great... I had completely forgotten. We already have 2 great moths, but now that I'm thinking about it, I remember we did Bakura and Bandit Keith last time. And we already had 1 great moth during the Keith fight. Did we already have both? I mean, we have to have both. Have to have had both. That was a weird sentence. Because they're already quite a high level. That is interesting. That is very interesting. 4 monsters. I think we have 5. 1 is missing. Yeah, Cockroach Knight. How could I ever forget about Cockroach Knight? The most important of all of our pieces. There it is. And I see Razran, welcome to the stream, and thank you for contributing in the chat once more. I think I remember seeing your name. Is that right? So glad to see you back. Old Man Power Activate. We'll see which Old Man Power will be the strongest, but I think the older we get, the more of the power you should accumulate. Would only make sense. Let me just quickly see, because it seems that my chat window in my OBS is not working, so I can quickly see if I can fix that, because I would love to see the live chat in there as well. What the hell is going on? So, sadly, since I'm streaming on the other PC now, and this is only the 2nd time, I do still need a few minutes here and there to do some of the technical lineups. Custom browser docs. Did we get that? Okay, I'll just quickly take a minute to fix this, so I can interact with the messages in the chat better for the remainder of the stream today. There we go, chat settings. I think I can grab the link from here. So it's been an interesting week also for the channel, because the last video I uploaded, which is the Exodia challenge for this exact game for Capsule Months... Wait. This game right here has been doing pretty well. It's turning out to probably become the 2nd most successful video... No, the 3rd most successful video on the channel so far, which is not saying that much, but... Let's apply this and see if we can view the chat. How's it looking? But I still can't see it. Oh my god, why does this... Ah, damn it. You see, this is something I should have done in advance if I had the time, but sadly I just couldn't find the time to set any of this up in prior to doing this. Okay, but now I can put it on here, and I think now it should work out, so we'll see what the next chat messages. There have been actually a few chat messages just as I was fixing it. There is Marquise from K as well, a loyal recurring viewer. Thank you so much, Marquise, for joining us here again. I also hope you're doing great today. I'm doing pretty fine, even though the stress level has been quite high as usual, but things are going pretty well. And Razran says, oh yeah, the Exodia run was fun. I haven't quite finished it yet, but I've been enjoying watching the runs. That is so awesome to hear. Thank you so much for the nice words. And there will be more of these coming, of course, especially the ones that we did on stream here. The next video that is going live on the channel, which will probably take a few weeks, I suspect, but will not be Capsule Monsters Coliseum, though. It will be a different game. And there's Margin Wamu. Hello to you too. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream again. Margin, I've been following your posts, your community posts regarding the randomizer. I'm still very eager to check it out. Wasn't able to do it ever since, but it's just like the nature of the current season of what's happening outside of the internet. But we will so get to this, and I see you added so many freaking settings. So for those of you who don't know, Margin Wamu is a developer who develops a mod and a few other things for this game, and he released a randomizer for Capsule Monsters Coliseum, and he's adding features like a madman, like every couple of days almost. I don't want to like exaggerate things, but sometimes it really felt like it was every couple of days. And it's crazy to think about it. A few months ago, we didn't have anything of that sort for this game. We had one mod, which was already Merkel, and that's it, and now, yeah, it's already so much more. I'll just randomly place the monsters here at this point. I will probably want to protect Cockroach Knight. Or do I? Maybe I don't. Actually, no, that was a stupid idea. How about we place Karibo here, and I protect one of the moths, and I just blast in and start attacking. How does that sound? Does that sound good? Volley, thank you so much for contributing in the chat, and so glad to see, I think, a new name in the stream. If I'm misremembering and you've already been here quite a few times, then I apologize, but I think it's the first time I see your name in the chat, so I'm very glad. Thank you so much. And Volley says, "Hey, the man bun go hard." Thank you, thank you. I think that's meant as a compliment. That's how I'll take it. And I do think that I can rock the man bun fit. It's the main hairstyle I've been rocking for quite some years now. The only problem is that my hairline is quite receding, as you can probably see from the headset. So I think in a couple of years or something, I'll have to think about whether I go bald or whether I choose a different means of enhancing the look when things get more serious. But for now, I think it's okay. And I also like wearing the hair open. I actually have quite long hair. You might be able to see it from this angle, I don't know. The problem is I sweat a lot when there's something on my neck, so that's why I tend to not wear it like this. Okay, okay. I see a few new names in the chat as well. There's Guy van Dudenstein. Guy van Dudenstein. I'm Guy van Dudenstein. Damn it, I interpreted a bit too much German into this. Thank you so much for typing in the chat as well. So glad to see all of you in the stream. Says top knot over man bun. You mean, what is top knot when you like do just like one thing where there's no hair hanging in the back, or what exactly is that? I'm very bad with these barber kind of like barber jargon. I haven't been to any barber or like hair cutting person in honestly probably 4 or 5 years or something. And my hair is pretty fine still. Like, it's doing well health-wise. I think it might getting a bit dry at the ends, but I think I'm decently lucky when it comes to this. I'm just not very lucky in terms of what's happening in the front. And there's also N cannot be typed, waving a hello in the chat, so hello back to you. So nice to see some new names in the chat, as well as the recurring names as usual. So glad to see you all participating and having some fun with us. So I think most of you will be familiar with this game, but if any of you newer viewers might not be familiar with what we're doing right now here, you might have seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Grandpa MUTO on the thumbnail, and you might be not quite sure what the hell is going on. This is a spin-off game for the PlayStation 2, released in 2005, I think. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monster Coliseum, and the entire shtick about this game is essentially that, let me just quickly think. You can imagine it's like Fire Emblem mixed with Yu-Gi-Oh! Even though I've never played Fire Emblem, I've seen other people make that comparison and say that it's pretty fitting, so I will do that too. It's essentially a strategy turn-based, like a turn-based strategy game, and just with some Yu-Gi-Oh! Coding on top, and it's actually a lot of fun. However, it is way too easy when you play it casually, and this is exactly the reason why we are doing these challenge runs, playing through the game as the characters from the story that we can encounter in the game as well, and taking their monster lineups that are usually pretty bad, honestly, and try to beat the game that way to make things a bit more interesting, you know? So, thank you to everyone who's joining us today. Let's quickly catch up with some of the messages here. We have Razran, thank you. That means you get an official welcome as well, Razran. Marquise is the man, dude. He's always so nice to everyone who joins in here. Honestly, Marquise, I think I remember you saying that you've been streaming at some point in the past, like some Bethesda games or some Souls-like games or something like this. And I think it shows, yeah, you seem to have a very, very well understanding of like community and a very welcoming attitude, which I respect a lot. Because that's, of course, what I try to do here as well, but sometimes it's not that easy. So I also appreciate you taking some work off my shoulders in that regard. So, yeah, To the stream, excited to join the chat. That is so nice to hear. I always love when some of you contribute to the chat, even if it's just the occasional message here and there. It's not necessarily that I need you guys to have something to talk about. I mean, it helps for sure. Like, keeping a conversation going, if there's some back and forth, is of course easier, but make no mistake, I am very much capable to ramble on myself for hours and to no end. What I love about it is to just see that other people come in here to watch this game, like watch me play this game of all YGO games that are out there, and just have some fun. I don't know, I love it. Back when I was a kid, I would have always dreamed of having, like, just knowing people to like exchange thoughts about this game, and all the hype I have for it, because I really like this game, and I have for so long. It's just nice to get a sense of community. And I need to quickly focus on the game because I have no idea what I'm doing right now. But I think we're doing fine. Does this make any sense? How about we use the save states that we have from the emulator and just try it. I think I missed a couple of other names. There is Terra Fimera. Terra Fimera, I hope I didn't completely butcher your name. Welcome to the stream as well, so glad to see you in the chat. Says PS2A, no wonder it looks fairly good. It looks pretty decent. It's a bit of a tricky situation since I'm streaming on a 1440p monitor, like a 1440 canvas, that of course you guys see it in 1080 because it's compressed down, reducing the quality. And because the PS2 game is not meant to run at this resolution, the emulator is running it at, I think, 6 times the resolution, so it's upscaled. On my end, it looks very good, but I know that because I have to reduce the bitrate for the streams, because I'm streaming both to YouTube and Twitch, on your guys' end, it's sadly not looking as crisp as it could. But we might improve that. I'm still unsure whether I really want to stay in this situation where I stream to both platforms, because we don't have any viewers really coming in from Twitch, except for Aku, of course, who's been here from, I think, the very first stream, found us through Twitch. But most of you guys are joining over YouTube, and maybe it would be worth it to increase the bitrate so we have a bit of a crisper stream as well. But yeah, you're right. PS2 games actually look very good compared to a lot of other consoles back in the day. Damn it, the chat is going crazy today. I really need to keep track. Damn it, I can't scroll the chat here. That's insane. That is absolutely ridiculous. But there's no way, right? Oh my god. Okay, that's interesting. That is very interesting. How the hell can I not scroll in this feature? That is insane. That's honestly insane. Okay, wait a minute. Let me just quickly... I'm a bit overwhelmed with the messages, which is amazing, of course, but so I can quickly catch up with you guys. So there's Echi Chanf. I hope I didn't butcher your name as well. Also, welcome to the chat. So glad to see all of you participating here. Watch your 2 challenge runs on YouTube, and it was fun. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I think the Exodia run was a bit more interesting, a bit more intriguing to watch, because it was really freaking hard at times. And for those of you who have seen it, you know exactly why. Ishizu 2 gave us a lot of trouble. And yeah, I'll take the change to agree with Dino. Pegasus theme is a certified banger. Yeah, listen to this when it's not in double time. Listen to it regularly. Of course, we play the game at double speed, but listen to it the way it's supposed to. So good. Oh my god, so nice to see so many fresh names. It's crazy. I do some streams myself. Amazing. That's why I wanted to support by actually catching it live. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and I know the feeling. I also tend to support more streamers, or like just sometimes pop into a stream that I'm not even familiar with and stay a bit and write some messages, leave a like, because I know that to smaller streamers it means a lot. Every single like, every single viewer means a lot. And yeah, Marquise is just a man. The welcoming attitude comes with the career it chose. I mean, fair enough, but that's only a quality. That's like only speaks of the quality that you can probably do your work. Even though I can't know for sure, but it definitely sounds like it. Volley says, by the way, thoughts on Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection. Okay, before I catch up with the other messages, let me just quickly answer that, because that is a very interesting question. And let me just quickly try to sort my thoughts and gameplay. If there's any important messages I missed, because I really love how many are coming in right now, but I have a bit of a hard time focusing on one thing. My brain works a bit weird in that sense. Then just write them again at some point, like just spam them a few times. I will eventually read it. I really don't want to miss anything. Early Days Collection. What do you think about it? I think the Early Days Collection, the fact that it happened was very cool. That was very nice. And I appreciate it because it means that they are testing the waters at the very least for what could happen. Wait a minute. What could potentially still happen with Yu-Gi-Oh! Video games in the future, you know what I mean? 144. This thing will be destroyed. I think we will lose Cockroach Knight due to me not paying attention too much, but is that really a problem? Like, do any of you really... Would any of you mind if I just... Wait a minute. Recover, okay, recover 40. This could actually... No, it won't exactly be enough. We would be... If the values stay the way they are, we would... Wait a minute, would we really lose... Like... Damn it, Cockroach Knight would be left with 1 PP. 67 plus 36 is 103. Plus 40 recovery, it's 143. And this thing has 144 attack. Wow, that's insane. That is legitimately insane. Okay, so let's... Cockroach Knight is going to take the L. It's nothing that we can prevent at this point. That's okay. Sorry, I get distracted again. Jesus. So what I said is I appreciate that the Early Days Collection is happening. I definitely appreciate that. However, it's not clear how things are going to continue now. That's a bit of a problem, right? Because we don't know if we're actually going to get a collection on things like Forbidden Memories, Duels of the Roses, Capsule, Monster Coliseum, etc. We don't know that. We can't know that. Because it's a different beast. Like, porting these games, I think, is more difficult, and they really have to see some potential. And something like Forbidden Memories has a lot of potential. There's a lot of community hype, a lot of modding around it. But for the other two games, especially this game that we are playing right now, I'm not convinced that we are, like, very likely to get a remake or a re-release or something like this. I would love to see it happen, but I'm not convinced. But we'll see. I think still it's a net positive that the Early Days Collection happened. Now, in terms of the gameplay you actually get from it, it's too expensive in my opinion. You pay too much for what you get. A lot of the early games, they can be fun if you really seek out ways to have fun with them. Especially the first couple of Duel Monsters games. But the first GB game is also not very good in my opinion. I played it a little bit, and the outdated GB, like the aesthetics and the interface and everything, like on a bigger monitor, just feels like they could have done a lot more with that if they put in the effort, which of course they didn't because it's a quick grab of money, but I don't know. That being said, I haven't played the later entries. I have not played Reshaft of Destruction and what's the other one that everyone is hyping up? Something of the Duelist or whatever. I'm sorry, I don't know the name. I never played any of these games, but I think some of the later ones are better Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulators or just better experiences overall. However, I just I don't know. I don't think any of them really warrant the price tag that we pay for it, or that we're supposed to pay for it. Of course, you don't have to do that, but... Okay, quickly assess the situation here. What the hell is going on? Oh my god, I really cannot focus on these things simultaneously. It's crazy. Okay, this thing will survive another hit from this thing. How much damage do we do to light monsters? Not a lot at all. How much do they do to us? This thing will survive another move. So I think it's safe to do this. Is this even worth it? It's really not. But it's also really not worth it to do something like this. Can we destroy Haniwa at least? Yes, we can. I think we'll one-shot Haniwa. And then I'm not quite sure what we're going to do afterwards. I suppose still go for this position because we can then SP the other moth so it can stay alive another turn. Oh boy. Oh my god. I think I did a misplay, but let's see if Pegasus actually figures it out. So yeah, my overall opinion on the Early Days Collection is mixed. I think it's cool that it happened, and I like to play some of these earlier games just for the fun of doing that, because it's possible, but they could have done more to make the modern experience of these old games better, and the fact that they fumbled things like the fast forward feature, which is a complete joke of a feature for a release like this, in my eyes, is just really shows that they didn't really give this the attention that it would have deserved, which to me is sad, but what can you do? Overall, still great that it happened, and I hope it means that we get something else in the long run, because that's what I would really be interested in. Okay, something like this. Okay, now I'm just quickly gonna blast through the other messages. And Cannot Be Typed says, other than the obvious one is Exodia, would a challenge run with Kaibas 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons be any fun? I also consider that because, of course, it's a popular monster to pick, but I'm not sure. We'd have to think about some rules that really make this intriguing. Ultimate Dragon is in the game. You can fuse it, but I never did so myself. Maybe we could set up a specific rule set to make this really interesting. They're pricey AF, but they do be good units. That is true, especially if you have a good symbol combination. If you play Earth elements and you boost their attacks with it, then that would be crazy. What's also crazy is we have more viewers than we ever had in the stream, so thank you to everyone who's newly joined us in the stream, as well as everyone who keeps coming back to this insanity every single Thursday that we managed to do. Like last week we did not, it was May 1st, but thank you to everyone. I really, really appreciate it. And I know sometimes I seem like I don't appreciate things or I don't enjoy things as much as I do because my face is weird, but I really appreciate it. I love it. So I hope you guys have as much fun as I do. Terra Femera says, I think I'm too used to GB, GBA, and PS1 with Yu-Gi-Oh, so it's relative to those. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, it all depends on what you're used to. This is probably the Yu-Gi-Oh game I played the most. No, that's not true. The Tag Force games are the Yu-Gi-Oh games I played the most, but like, let's do this. I don't know if it's smart, but whatever. Okay, Razor says, I'm glad to be the one that started the chat going. That's so nice. Like, you had the honor, but you also had the responsibility, and you took it very well. I really appreciate it, as I said. Sure, it comes with practice. I haven't streamed long enough in general to get better at it. Yeah, I mean, it's a thing you need to practice like everything else. Okay, we got the tree. This is probably the sloppiest game I've ever played in any of these runs. But Grandpa is still kicking strong, you know, going strong, kicking... what's the saying? What do you say with kicking? I have no idea. Does it really matter? I think it doesn't. Oh, sorry for this. I don't think anything happened, really. At least nothing that you guys could see. Okay, YouTube chat do be jank sometimes, yeah, but we also had a bit of a trouble with setting up the chat because I changed some things on this computer again, so that was also a reason. So there are no worries. We will eventually figure things out to a degree that there will be no need to set things up and correct things every single time I turn the stream on, but I think it will probably take a little bit. Personally, I'd love for us to either... I'm sorry, I don't know what... yeah, I've only been streaming myself for a few months. Oh yeah, I'm sure it will get better tomorrow. Yeah, for sure. I think it's just, it comes down to practice. And of course, not overdoing it because of like burnout and things like this, but most definitely practicing and grinding it out. Of course, sometimes deliberately trying to learn new things or fixing certain issues that you encounter, or like specifically improving things about your stream that might need improvement, as with everything else. But I think overall, the more hours you put into it, naturally you will get better. That's what's so nice about learning new skills. Especially when you're really fresh to it, it feels like you make progress very rapidly until you hit one of the uncomfortable points where you no longer do. Okay, but we will SP Karibo here, so we get an extra turn. Another attack with the Moth. This tune, honestly, at double speed is just insanity, isn't it? I think it is. Let's place this here, let's place this here, where it's still in safety, outside of Pegasus's reach. More cool spin-offs like this and Falseman Kingdom, or more RPG lights like Reshaf and stuff. That would be pretty cool. Cockroach Knight deserves respect, guy, if Dude Stein says. I mean, yeah, but honestly, for our endeavor here right now, does it really? Doesn't matter. either way, we are defeating Pegasus 1 man down, but Cockroach Knight will return, don't fret it. We will make sure to keep him around for as many fights as possible. But I think it will always be the first piece to fall. That and Exodia's Arm, because Kariba's special ability is just way too good to leave on the table. The duality of man. Okay. I really hope that if they ever make another collection, they put Falsepan Kingdom. Yeah, I mean, I see Falsepan Kingdom a lot. Quite a few of you mentioned it. And I've yet to play this. This will probably be a stream, like a stream thing that we'll do in the future, where I will just play Falsepan Kingdom for the very first time without any information prior, because that's one of the few games where I can still do that. Do we need more base AP? I don't even know, but we won't evolve for quite a few matches to come. So I think putting everything into our PP size is the right order of events. Do we need anything from here? Maybe for a future run, I'll just pick up a few monsters that I think we might need at some point. Falsepan Kingdom was so fun. I think the demand for Falsepan Kingdom is there, but it could also be that we're in a room where people are watching a dude play this game live, so maybe it's just the crossover of people who like this game and people who like Falsepan Kingdom. But yeah, we will do that on stream for sure. Sacred Cards, Powell26, welcome back to so nice to see you again, and says Sacred Cards, and that was one of the games that I think is very beloved by the fandom in the early days collection. Also a game I have not played for a single second in my life, so it's difficult for me to really give a proper, like, sorry, I ran over the cable of my headset, to give a proper review of the contents of that collection, because I have not checked out everything yet. Margin says, I can tell you appreciate us. I'm glad. Then I succeeded in that more than I had expected. Did you mean still alive and kicking? Yes. Oh my god, Guy Fenducci, thank you. Alive and kicking, damn it. It's yeah, it's what we last time we discussed what we call in German the Vorführ effect. Essentially, whenever you present something, or especially when you're nervous when doing something in front of a crowd, things just, they have to go wrong. It's just a rule almost. And for me, this often happens in the form of not remembering vocabulary that is actually deeply ingrained and even somewhat frequently used in my day-to-day shenanigans, and then just suddenly not remembering them anymore. But that's okay, because you guys know what I mean and are there to correct me in any step on the way, which I also appreciate. Okay, 4 monsters this time, but I think Odon will not be the toughest opponent, so I think we will be fine. How about we place Kariba in the middle? Will that make any sense? I have no idea. Let's just do it, okay? Let's just freaking do it. I think this will probably make sense if we place this here. We can still change the positions, it's okay. Slot 3, save slot 4, and we are heading into the fight. Margin Warmer says, I would love to see you run my randomizer with all the difficulty settings enabled, such as giving the opponent 999 AP, increasing the level and limiting a monster count. Marquise, Margin Warmer, you can bet that we will do something like this, for sure. We could maybe even do that as the next project for the stream. It depends whether we finish Grandpa's run today or not, but if we don't finish it today, we will finish it probably in the first half of the stream next week, I imagine. So we could next week for sure start a new project to play through. And we could do something like this. We could do a randomizer, but a very specific run where we try to make things really hard and then see for ourselves what we can do about that. Would be fun, because then we could actually use the broken strategies in this game, but still within a context that is very difficult. And I love that you added these features where you can specifically select that every opponent has only level 9 monsters and stuff like that, because it's exactly the type of New Game Plus feature I always wished was available for the game back in the day. And even though we're getting something similar like that in Libra Mod, the Libra Mod to me is just a separate experience with completely different interactions, so it's so great to have something like this for the vanilla game where you can choose your own parameters. It's actually insane. So maybe we should do something like this as the next project. I mean, we can decide on some of the parameters together, but if we decide on that, until next week, I will definitely already make up my mind about a few things. Maybe even test some things on stream, although that might take away some of the fun, so I'm not sure about that. But yeah, will be amazing. So it would be nice to see you use the randomize and use a strategic mind. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm getting a lot of help from you guys, so it's not like I'm doing these things alone, you know what I mean? But I think in terms of strategically placing monsters and thinking a few moves ahead, I'm pretty good, generally speaking. But in a lot of other things, I'm not that great. But I also played this game so much, maybe it's just, you know, being used to it. Oh no, damn it. Oh, but we can do something like this. We can SP. Do we even need these SPs? But let's just go with them because you never know when you're going to need something like this. Okay, there we go. I did a full playthrough on my channel. I saw that you did. Didn't you actually do multiple like playthroughs or like just testing phases? I couldn't really tune in for long, but on the occasion I was checking in for a few minutes here and there when I had time. Just to see how things are going. And again, it's so crazy that we have something like this available. Just absolute insanity. We're not doing a lot of damage, so now we're starting to feel the problems with Grandpa's symbol. Or like Grandpa's symbol and monster combinations. Being that we don't really get any attack boosts. Let me just quickly need to do something on the side. Big setup issue, but this will resolve very, very briefly. Maybe we should start to attack from the other side as well, because of course with the Great Moths, we need to try and occupy both sides towards our enemies. Alrighty. So Margin says version 1.7 will be pretty groundbreaking. I saw that you have so many things in mind that you're already testing for that, and that's absolutely insane. So I don't know how you managed to do all of this, but you're the man. What else is there to say, really? Okay, let me just quickly check what the hell is going on here. Yeah, we're just gonna do this. I hope we won't have any sound issues right now because I'm booting up something else on the side. I'm just gonna mute that away. Okay, now I think we should be fine. So, Marquis says, I've seen that you streamed a mod. Yeah, I never been able to catch one live. Yeah, I also had a pretty hard time, honestly, but whenever I was there, I was at least able to drop a like or something. The mod has been on hold due to achievement development. That doesn't like a reason to be sad at all, because, I mean, you're still working on stuff for games, so whatever. Achi Schamf says, Moment, du kannst Deutsch? Ja, tatsächlich. Aber die Crowd ist halt definitiv, ich sag mal so, ein bisschen lebendiger und ist ein bisschen mehr Potenzial auf Englisch. Und Englisch läuft normalerweise ganz gut, deswegen rocken wir das Ganze auf Englisch. Und die Community für das Spiel ist generell sehr klein, deswegen, ja, wird es wahrscheinlich erstmal Englisch bleiben. So for all of you who don't know German, I was just explaining that, even though I could of course stream in German as well, I think, especially for a niche game like this, it's probably better for me, you know, because I can get potentially more viewership, but also for the game, like for the community, if I stream in English, because then most people can understand at least partially or at their own pace when they can rewind during some things or something like that. And that I think that's one of the reasons why I chose to stream in German instead. In English instead of German. I was just about to say also because I'm good at English, but we've seen so many slip-ups in my speaking abilities. I don't even know that to be true anymore, at least not to the degree that I thought. Slot 6. It doesn't you stream at like 4 AM in the night usually, so I'm in bed sleeping. Yeah, I can definitely relate to this if it's just not the right time. I was thinking a lot about what times I should stream to get the most amount of people in the chat going, or like in the stream. So basically what I thought was I should get as many like time zones in the US, because a lot of people in the US are consuming YouTube, of course. And if you do like fairly late hours in Europe, like right now where I live, it's almost 9 PM. You already catch some time zones in the US that are like just like rush hour, like arriving home from work like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And I don't know if that really makes that much of an impact, especially for a niche community like this, but it's definitely something I considered when I started to stream. So I'm curious, did you guys who also tended to stream or stream currently, how did you come up with your streaming times? How did you choose? Should we do this? Oh boy, we have a fire monster. I completely forgot about that. Also need to pay attention to that. But I think for now we're good. So there's Emil Buratovic. Thank you for joining us back again. So glad to see your name in the chat again, as always. I really appreciate it. We defeated Pegasus, and now we're heading, we're trying to defeat Odon, and then it's only Merrick left. So we only finished one opponent so far. There's been a lot of stuff going on with new viewers in the chat, so there was a lot of rambling from my side, which definitely slowed down the progress, but yeah, it's all in good spirit. I'll just risk this now. Maybe make another save slot just in case. But this is, I think this is one of the few times that the Odon fight really felt like I need to pay attention a lot. That I need to watch out to what I'm doing. And now it's a bit of a difficult situation because I could do this. I could place Exodia's arm here, but then we are risking attack from... But, you know, we have the advantage. We have this the attribute advantage, so I think we need to do this. Because then I can one-shot it and I can still use my moth to attack something. Because at this point, we can attack this thing. And I think this is something I should do, to dish out close to 100 damage immediately. We'll have it easier later on. Emil says he's good, very tired from work. Relatable, even though not today for me. On Monday I had a pretty intense day at work. That was quite intense, and Mondays is the only day currently where I have to really commute for quite a while to work and back. So I leave home something like 9:30 in the morning, 9:30, 9:40-ish, because I have to catch a train, and then I get home at around 8:15, 8:20 in the evening, so that was excruciatingly excruciating. So I can imagine you probably had a similar day to that. Very good. Margin says, reach out to me in Discord when you get the chance. Margin, I will actually do that. I don't have a Discord account for my streaming YouTube endeavors. I think maybe I did set one up, but I haven't used it at all yet. I will make sure to do that. I'll need to remember, but I'll make a note somewhere. I'll reach out to you soon, then we can discuss some more details about about all the nice things you do for this game. Stream will relax you. I hope so. I really hope it does. So if you can make your evening a bit more relaxing and a bit more fun, that is exactly what we're going to try to do. Margin Mama says your German is beautiful. Thank you. It's my best language by far. I mean, I am a native speaker of German, I would say. I don't know where exactly the technical cutoff point for native speakers is. Okay, let me just quickly think what we're going to do now, because we need to be careful. How many attacks do we need for this? I'll just save slot it, and then... Why do I keep saying save slotted? I'm just going to save it, because that's what we're doing with the save states. We are saving them to the slots. But you guys know what I mean. 129. We can one-shot this thing. Amazing. We can move this out of the way into safety. And I think this is actually pretty good. Guy from Dudesen says, don't worry, you're better at English than a lot of native speakers. Oh man, that's a huge compliment. I'm glad to hear that. I try my best. I know I have a bit of a weird accent that I think native speakers from whatever region will recognize as probably a bit of a mix between various regional accents. It's not exactly like British or Australian or American, but some words tend to be on one side more than others, and I can imagine that must be a bit maybe a bit distressing for people who are used to one particular way of speaking English, but I don't know, because I don't even know how it is in German for me when I hear other people speak. Yeah, so what I was about to say is German is essentially my native tongue. I've been living in Austria ever since I was 7 or 8 years old. I'm actually also born in Austria, but spent some time somewhere else in between. And like my first mother tongue was Bosnian, but ironically it's my worst language by far. Even though I do have to say, not trying to pat myself on the back or anything, I speak it a lot better than many of other Balkan diaspora in German-speaking countries, because I went to school there for a couple of years, which helped a lot, of course, with improving the language, learning to write and read, and reading some literature, even though it was at like elementary school level. And since I'm speaking almost exclusively Bosnian with most of my family, you know, it helps. You get practice in. Speak to your parents often and other relatives, and especially as an adult, trying to have conversations on a more meaningful level and about topics where you didn't necessarily have the vocabulary. Sometimes it's annoying because I constantly have to ask my family, you know, oh my god, what's this word in Bosnian? What's this word in Bosnian? But then I remember half of them, and then this also improves. So it's just with streaming. You need to keep doing it, and then you'll just improve. It's basically true for most things in life, I think. Oh my god, and there's the cheap viewers on stream, boo, guys who did it. Is this... We need to keep a speedrun tracking time of how quickly we can get this thing into the chat every single time. Oh my god. And sadly, because of the new layout here in OBS, that I haven't figured out why it's different than on the other PC, I need to ban it manually in YouTube. So just give me a second to do that, real quick. God, I hate this. Damn it. Interestingly, I cannot even see it in the restream chat. Why is that? That's weird. Okay. I might need to open my Twitch chat manually and ban it there, because they always come from Twitch for some reason. Because they see that I have like 1 or 0 viewers, and then they're like, hey, you need to buy viewers, because the one thing that will improve the quality of a stream and the likelihood of you being discovered is if you actually buy bots who are totally not gonna be recognized by Twitch's algorithm, and your channel probably flagged or banned anyway. Definitely not. There it is. And thank you, and see you never again. I think we're good. Usually I leave one tab window open so I can be the one viewer in my own Twitch stream. I don't even know if Twitch recognizes that. But if it does, wouldn't it be something that everyone does anyway, so effectively not mattering at all?
Storyline.
I mean, very similar to math.
That was a different stream on Twitch, but it's such a pain in the ass that I have to go manually into my Twitch account and then ban people there. Okay, we're just gonna leave it like this. Let me open my OBS window again so I can see the things I'm supposed to see finally every single time. Do we have a single stream or something like this did not happen? Your English is good because I don't like personally the German accent. As a German, oh my god, etchy champ. I like nothing against people who are German speakers and are trying their best to speak English. And I appreciate every single one who makes an effort to communicate in another language, because it makes talking to people easier, and that's such a wonderful thing in life and also a very important thing in life. However, it's so insane how quickly you can hear, as a German speaker, how quickly you can hear someone who has a very German accent in English. And I really don't like the sound of it. I've come to dislike it less over the years, but especially when I was younger, I was so adamant about not sounding like this that I actively made an effort. I was talking to myself for hours at home. Like, sometimes I was pretending I was streaming or recording stuff for YouTube, even though back then I wasn't, just so I can speak a bit and like improve my way of speaking. And that's, I think, why my accent sounds different. I'm pretty sure, actually. I understand if you do your channel in English. Marquis, okay, gut zu wissen, das erklärt auch die Zeit des Streams. Yeah, the streaming hours make sense in that regard, I think. Oh, thank you, Odon. I was already in a hurry because I didn't want to disrespect you because you're such a fierce and respectable opponent in this game. But actually, Odon was a tougher challenge than usual, so we need to put some respect on his name. I'm sorry I did you this service, dude. Didn't mean to do that. I have a pat on the head. Actually, Odion's design from the front here is very cool. I like the earrings, and this tattoo going halfway over his left eye is honestly goes pretty hard. Honestly, pretty good. And we have Drater. I also think the first time in the chat. Welcome to the stream. So glad to see you participating here. Drater says, "Holy moly, this makes me feel nostalgic." Oh my god. Sorry, the chair just unlocked its lean back functionality on its own. Drater says, "This makes me feel nostalgic." Me too. Every time I boot this game. How can I play this game too? It used to be one of my favorite games as a kiddo. If you have a Windows computer, I don't know if it works on Mac, but there's an emulator called PCSX2. PCSX2. You can also just Google PS2 emulator. There's also some other ones, I think. And what you can do is you can download that emulator, but you will need a few things that you cannot legally download online. So you will need to get them by other means that are totally legal. You know, like ripping them straight from the console that you purchased from Sony, you know, completely legitimately with your own money, and definitely not download it from Megathread links on Reddit or something like that. No, nobody does that. Like me especially not. And then you also need the ISO file of this game, which you can rip from the CD of the legit copy that you totally bought back in the day from an official store, and definitely not download the ISO file from a Megathread link on Reddit or something like this. Yeah, so, and then if you have the emulator and the BIOS files and the game file, you can just, like, it takes like 5 minutes to set up. You can just Google a YouTube video and then you can do that easily. Yeah. Wait a minute. Okay, now I need to catch up to a few of the other messages. A nice he threw Reaper. I'm sorry, what? Emil, what are you referring to? Oh, he threw it in terms of he just threw it forward and basically left it to die without doing anything. Yeah, that was pretty good. That could have meant a lot of trouble, so we did manage to circumvent that. Maybe I shouldn't have pat Odon on the head. He actually didn't play this very well. And again, Emil is the one guy in the chat who notices like some strategic things that happen in the game as well, and sometimes recommending plays that I don't see myself because I'm just yapping and yapping and yapping. But on the other hand, you came here for the yapping, so you will have to deal with it. I mean, honestly, none of our monsters are in trouble right now, so screw it. Did we have another? Is this a different spam message? Or am I going crazy? No, this is the one that I banned, right? Please tell me this is the one that I banned already. Oh my god, and now as I opened my Twitch window, I saw Asmongold in this on the side. Jesus. Yuck. Shots fired at Asmongold. Let's start some YouTube beef so I can actually grow my channel like a parasite. No, we're not doing that, of course. I'm just not particularly... don't have a high opinion on that dude. I don't know why he would be recommended to me on Twitch, but it's probably because I used to watch some WoW PvP streamers, like from World of Warcraft back in the day, and I think he falls somewhat in the category with a lot of the other guys. Oh boy. Did we put Karibo in trouble? No, we didn't. That's all good. Okay, so... Razrin said, I reported it is why it went away. Dan, thank you for that. I really appreciate that service. It's so annoying sometimes with these bots selling spam messages. Such an unpleasant thing to just have in a stream. Drata says, what is your favorite capsule monster though? And you said it like 5 minutes ago, but I just need to catch up to these a bit quicker. Okay, we might still be in a bit of trouble because of Odon. We can't lose a moth. We totally cannot do that. What can we do about it? Not much, I think. Maybe we can bait a symbol attack? Okay, this thing would one-shot Karibo guaranteed. Okay, maybe I underestimated Odon once again. We're coming back full circle. Okay. What if we do something like this? I think this thing will... Oh my god, I don't even know. Am I in trouble? Am I actually in serious trouble? Oh my god. Did we screw up completely? Wait a minute. What if we just take it slow, a few steps back, and actually think about what I'm doing? Just quickly finish up all the chat messages so I'm finally caught up with you guys. Emil says, I know a few Croats who migrated to Germany at a young age. It's usually the same story as yours. Yeah, I think there's quite a lot of people with a similar story. Most diaspora that I know myself have already, like, they're born and completely raised, like, in Austria. But I've met a few people who have more of a similar background to me, so I think there's quite a lot. It just depends on who you get to know and stuff like that. Favorite capsule monster, Drake says. This is, I think, the question where I got hung up on. I have no idea. Back in the day, it was White Dolphin. That was like my first boss monster when I was young and naive. What else did I miss? Karibo and Exodia. I mean, Karibo and Exodia, of course, with the challenge runs, is a good answer. Definitely. I mean, Exodia, the Summoned Lord, is a crazy piece. It's a monster that you don't really get in any other Yu-Gi-Oh games. So I think Exodia, the Summoned Lord, is a good contender for favorite piece for sure. Pretty sure you just want to be so nice you get his new cards with himself in it. Wait, who do you mean? You just want to be nice so you get his new cards with himself in it? I'm sorry, Marquise, you're probably referencing something I said a few minutes ago, but I completely lost trail of that, so maybe you can remind me what exactly I said. It's totally legal if you can call it privateering instead of pirating. I mean, that's what you said, dude, guy of Dudestein. I am not going to take any stance on your particular opinion on this. Yeah. Guys pronounced... Wait a minute. Also, since you missed it... guys pronounced Gi? Is it Gi or G? Like Gi or G? Because I'm not quite sure. Alright, I must take my leave now. Happy to have contributed to chat. Razran, thank you so much to contributing. Thank you so much to checking out what we do here. I would love to see you return sometime in the future. And I hope I'll remember to also check out your channel, maybe join you in one of your streams and return the favor. Would be glad to do that. Look forward to that new game you teased in the next video. Yeah, definitely look forward to that. It's going to be fun. So thank you and see you soon. Marquis says, a strategic master here, his input is very appreciated. Yeah, for sure. Like, Emil is the man. You like lose one more piece, but save your right moth. You have to brute force this with them since they're neutral to light. Offer Karibo's bait to his Skelangel. Damn it, but with doing this without Karibo, let me quickly think of what the next fight holds. Merrick is going to be tough, isn't he? I meant Odon in this message. Oh, wait a minute. Is he getting actual cards? Is he getting support or something? Did I miss something about the card game? Is that what you're answering? Gi, not G. Like, you're saying it's Gi, right? Did I understand you correctly? It's Gi van Dudestein? Or did I completely miss it? But now finally you got caught up with the chat, so now we can strategize. Let's see if what Emil says rings true, or if we should maybe reload to prevent any of this happening. Oh my god. Just quick surrender next fight. I mean, we could do that, but I don't know. This just doesn't feel like it's in the spirit of what I would like these challenges to be. You know what I mean? I would really not like for this to happen. What if we move our symbol forward a bit sooner, you know? Maybe bait a few attacks into that direction. Maybe we can block Skelengel advancement with the symbol, because we did get more PP now due to the recent level up. It's not cheating in this case, you will lose pieces. I mean, we will lose pieces very likely, it's definitely looking like it. But let's see. Let's hold our horses for a second. Oh, new Odon cards are already released. That's quite cool, honestly. One of the new cards are just Odon himself. Dude, it's Kaiba-Man Reloaded. Are there more instances of characters getting, like, themselves into the game via a card? Because Kaiba-Man was the meme, right? But is there any more like these in the recent releases? Okay, now we need to kind of figure things out. What can we do differently this time? This is the main... Like, this is the driving question now. What can we do differently? This is not different, we did the same thing last time. But what could be different is that we move the moth to the position of this moth, so that we lean more towards the left in general. So if we did something like this. But what if we attacked with Karibo first? Will we lose Karibo in the process like that? No, we won't. We can probably later on get Karibo to safety. Oh my god, let's see. Okay, 3 to the side, attack here. I have a Power Reaper with Dark and chip 1 Easter Head with Moths. Keep them on edge, yeah. I think this is exactly what I just did, what you meant. I think we're on the same page here. Almost 700 PP. I'll just place it forward for the odd chance that it might attract an attack and help us on in one of the following turns. Exactly like that. That's exactly what I meant. There are a lot of cards that are just characters from the show, and speaking of Kaiba-Man, I heard the new Kaiba-Man card is going to be released. How could any other character get a release if Kaiba didn't get a re-release on top of that as well? I'm just joking, of course, but it's so... I don't know, Kaiba-Man is just... it just fits the character so well, doesn't it? Now we need to think. Is there that many cards that reflect characters? I know there's like a few cards where you can see Yugi and Joey on it. Isn't one of them called Friendship or something like this? With that weird effect where you can like shake hands with your opponent and decide on a draw or something like this, which is actually an insanely cool concept. Just weird that it exists in the first place. Sorry. What if we place it here? I mean, this moth could trade blows and then still run off to the left. It's just that we need to think about whether this moth... It will take a Scavenger blow, and I don't think chipping on this particular Easter egg head thing... Oh god, no Karibo. Will this thing crush Karibo? In that case, we have to place it. In that case, we need to do this. Pavel says, I think the friendship card got banned in competitive. Placed its stuff to the hands prior to handshake. Wait. You mean like nasty stuff? Or like... I don't quite understand. In order to like sabotage the opponent for the next game, or what exactly? But I mean, it does beg the question of, do you want to touch the hands of another sweaty competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player? Is that really something you want? It is a reasonable question, isn't it? Okay, we need to move this thing over there because otherwise it will get crushed. Like wiped our ass. Yeah, fair enough. That was my immediate thought. Like some bodily nasty stuff, or like some, I don't know, glue or something else that's nasty. Geef and Dudestein says Yu-Gi-Oh players were known for the lack of hygiene. I mean, to be fair, I think a lot of similar communities, you could probably say similar things about them. So it's fair enough, I guess. Okay, we have full cycle back to like slot 4. I think this we will just override it now. No, as in YGO players don't really shower. Very true. Is that so true with like events and conventions? My only experience with physical TCGs when I was not like in a, like junior high, like 10 or 11 years old, like as an adult, is playing the Digimon TCG last year, and I've been at like 5 locals or something. Just I was horrible. Like I put quite a few hundred of euros into multiple decks because I got so hyped about the game, and I still sucked playing it. But I like to go to the locals and get my ass beat, and I didn't really get that vibe at all from that. But it was a pretty small community, and of course very small events. Is that really a general thing with like TCG players at like big events that nobody's showering? Like, how can it be possible? Like, do you, as like you as a person, you don't want to stink? I would assume that's true for most people, and you also don't want to smell other stinky people. So it seems like a non-issue. Like, just shower, put on some deodorant, and everything's fine, isn't it? But maybe I'm just too naive. I don't know. I have no idea. Powell says, I thought the hygiene thing was World of Warcraft and Diablo players. Probably also true. Like, when you go to BlizzCon, I mean, you also spend the whole day there. Maybe that's the thing with, like, conventions and big tournaments. You're just there way too long. I've also heard that FGC, like, fighting game tournaments, tend to be pretty stinky as well. Maybe it's just the amount of people and the amount of time you need to spend there. Okay, Yu-Gi-Oh! Plays were infamous even by the hobby stand. Okay, but that sounds brutal. That sounds actually freaking brutal. I don't want to experience that myself. I think hearsay is enough. At my Pokemon local Yu-Gi-Oh! Players at tables behind us have a very strong stench. Oh my god. That sounds disgusting. Oh my god. Your choice of vocabulary also made it especially easy to immerse myself into the stink. But that sounds horrible. Absolutely horrible. Can we defeat Scalangel with 3 hits? I don't think so, because 2 of them are Darkness monsters, but it's 45. Excuse me, 45, 88, and no, it won't be enough. There's no way. Not enough attack power. Well, in that case, I think we could do something like this, probably. Then we could do something like this, and something like this. Was that smart? I think it was. I think this leaves us with more cards on our table. In quite a literal sense that I think we will be able to keep all 4 monsters intact for the next fight. I think the symbol grinding the PP. Oh my god, grinding the PP on the symbol. Jesus, guys, like this joke is getting really spicy sometimes. But grinding it out was worthwhile, because tanking these hits on a piece where it really doesn't matter is just too good. Honestly, it's just too freaking good. Let's place this here, I guess. Oh, wait a second. How about we place Karibu even further in the back? How about we place this thing even further in the back? How about... Okay, there's no way for him to attack the arm. I think we will keep all 4 pieces. Oh my god. Just don't ask what the smell is when they play Dark Magician go, oh my god. I don't think it warrants any questions. I think we all know way better than we'd like. Powell says, I feel dirty if I don't shower one day. Same. I mean, I'm also particularly sweaty. I think some people can definitely get away with not showering daily. But I know I'm not one of them, so I have to do it. I also don't feel good if I don't shower. Like, I sweat. Like, I go outside. I go downstairs to, like, I don't know, bring out the trash. I sweat immediately. I need to shower. And I want to shower. It's an amazing feeling. And, yeah. Bodies are different, but everybody should know about their limits. About their, the way they appear to others at events, especially things like smelling and stuff like that. Yeah. Nice use of the symbol. Thank you, Emil. Stalled a lot of hits. I think we need to do that. We will need to do more and more of that. the further we go into the run, which is interesting because for a lot of other runs the opposite was true, but I think choosing Grandpa as a character challenge run in this game was pretty cool. And having the moths, especially with their attack ranges, definitely helps us out here. Will we need any of these for future reference? I don't know. Let's just take some of them. Oh my god. But we did it, guys. We are almost through with Area 3. I think this time around I'll try to have more frequent but shorter breaks, and I think right now it is time for the first one because I need to shortly rest my voice for a few minutes, get some fresh air into this room. Again, it's a bit of a tiny room, it's a bedroom, so not that a lot of surface for oxygen to wait on my breathing capacity. And also gonna grab a quick snack. So yeah, it was a blast so far. I hope all of you will stay for quite a few more hours and quite a few more Capsule Monster fights. So don't go anywhere, we will continue this in probably 5 or 10-ish minutes max, and yeah, I'll see all of you guys in a moment. Alrighty, we are back in the house. I think it didn't take way too long. I hope at least. Did we save the game? Yeah, we did. Okay, we can continue. I made a nice protein smoothie so we don't have to stop yapping so much. We can just drink quickly in between. Alright, any messages that I missed? We have Marquise said, nay, it's just the urge. Wait. I assume you get used to the not showered feeling after a while, especially if you're not self-conscious. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. I can't really imagine how that would be, but maybe if you tried, you know, maybe you can probably get used to a lot of things, right? As a people can quickly get used to their own stench, so make sure to shower every day and clean your room often. Fair enough. Maybe that's generally good advice. I know that I can get used to like bad odor in the room that I'm in very quickly, and then when I shortly leave the room and come back in, like I notice it immediately. So that's definitely true. But I think I never had big issues with body odor ever since I started to shower regularly and use deodorant. So I think some people also have it harder because their bodies tend to stink more quickly than others. Which is unfortunate, but you know, the gene lottery is a unforgiving mistress, so we just need to make the best of what we get. In all aspects of life. Dino stench check, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's less the stench. In this particular case, it's more about just preemptively trying to keep air circulation here going at least to a degree, because I know that it can get very, how we in German would say, stickig. Is there a proper English word for stickig? Probably. I just, again, I just completely don't remember words I'd usually be able to remember on the top of my head. That in your diet can significantly impact how bad you smell. I can imagine. I can definitely imagine. Yeah, there's a lot of factors that play into this, I think. Marjorie says, welcome back. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys are all still here. It's crazy. I think today we hit view count. That was we never had that many views in the stream. So thank you to everyone who supported me along the way, and also everyone who joined just for today to see what we're doing. It's nice to see these numbers go up. But honestly, I'm just glad that we have a little bit of a community already built here. Just people we can chat with and talk about freaking Capsule Monster Coliseum. How cool is that? I still can't get over that fact. It's insane. I would so love to do this more often, like, multiple times in the week and in different times, just maybe give opportunity to other people to come hang that maybe can't on that particular day and the particular time that we do it regularly. But with my schedule right now and all the things that are going on and all the things that I want to do throughout the week, quite frankly, it's not extremely feasible, at least not something I could keep up at a regular pace. But there will come a time, probably when I finish my master's degree later this year and some other things, like work-related things, settle, that are currently cooking, where I will be able to have a bit more like reoccurring events like this scheduled in my week that I can reliably like fulfill. Is that a proper word? I think it is. So in that instance, like eventually we will have more times throughout the week where I will stream, try to do it mostly every week or like almost every week. It's just that it will take a bit until this is realized. So do we try to fight from the wood symbol? Probably. So one moth will be placed here. Another moth will probably be placed here so we can get a good line of attack. I can imagine the arm will probably attack via that, and the cockroach knight, honestly, just gonna try to survive. Karibo. It's a bit of a tricky situation with Karibo, isn't it? I'd almost like Karibo to be here instead. Or do I? Or would I like Karibo to be here instead? Let's place Karibo here and just see how it goes. Slot 2 this time, so we have slot 3, one slot more available for the gameplay. Okay, Merrick, last opponent of Area 3. Let's see how we fare. Guy van Dude's says, I'm just chilling at work, so I got nowhere else to go. It's amazing you can watch a stream on the side at work. Really nice. I do that a lot, and I shouldn't say this as someone who makes, who teaches that, but when I practice guitar, when I do specific things, like job-related things, sometimes I don't do this, but a lot of times I have a stream or a YouTube video running in the background. For me, it's mostly the YouTube videos. Was that stupid? No, that's okay. Which does take off some concentration occasionally, but it's just, it makes sometimes, like, grinding out some things way more bearable. And for some reason, it's probably a very bad habit, but I've gotten so used to background noise that if I don't have background noise, my mind just goes crazy. It jumps all across my brain through various topics and various ways of thinking and stuff like that. It's probably just a very, very bad habit, but yeah. It's a chill desk job, so it's not like I'm having to run around and do stuff. That's cool. I mean, yeah, but having something like running on the side is pretty cool, and also it's not really a hindrance to the job, is it? I would love to do that. If I had a desk job like that, I would do that all the time. In fact, I did have a desk job for a brief while, and whenever I had a home office, I would, of course, also have background noise of my choice, of my choosing, of my choice available, or like running, just to kind of... Yeah, but also, to be fair, I really didn't have a lot to do in that job. There's just a few things that needed to be there for. One of them was like a call center type of job, where I was doing like the customer service, like the first line of customer service for a somewhat big tech company that would outsource that to the small company that I was working at. And I would do some other like office tasks along the way, because I had no qualifications for like IT stuff that the company was doing outside of that, so I was usually given very mundane tasks to do. And some basic things, like sometimes in the company I would like set up laptops for customers. Like when a company wanted to get new hardware for their offices, they would have like, I don't know, 25 new like OneNote laptops. They wanted Windows set up, that specific version with all the accounts already set up and everything, so they're ready to go. And I would like be there the whole day and have like 20 laptops all across the room open and installing all the things that they wanted on the list at the various stages of progress, and I would just chill there and do that and listen to music and stuff like that. Honestly, life was not half bad back then, but the money was also not very good, so yeah, it was less stressful, but it came at a price, didn't it? As with most things in life. Okay, now I think I need to shut up a little bit more and probably focus on what's going on in the fight. I think I will SP Karibo itself as well, just so, you know, we can get somewhere. Is this smart? I don't think so. Ah, damn it. Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. He has 3 movement, and then he could... Let's keep Exodia's arm over here, just in case. We Team Orchid, I think, also a new name in the chat. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in and contributing here. We have to use a radio for background noise at my job for security reasons. Interesting. Interesting. I did not know this was a thing, so but it's interesting to hear that. What exactly are the security reasons? Is that something you could elaborate on? Maybe I'm just too slow to understand right now, but I'd really like to know. Emil says, funny, every piece is neutral in this match. Is that true? It seems you're right, Emil, damn it. It's not often you see that, is it? Crazy. Let's see how this impacts the fight. I mean, technically the symbol is not, but in terms of monsters, yeah, you're right, and I think we can exclude the symbol from this. I will still move it forward though, just in case we need to tank a few more hits, because it's proven to be quite an effective backup plan. Dominic Fang, also new name in the chat this time, I'm pretty sure. So welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. Says, I never knew how this game was played when I first tried it as a kid on PS2. Honestly, the very first times I picked it up, me neither. I want to say, but you know, it's It's a very cool game. It does get pretty easy once you figure it out, but honestly, up until the point where you really figure out what's important in this game, when you do like a blind playthrough, it can be quite challenging because you need to know the mechanics and how they work to have a really easy time, and then to do challenges like we do right now. But it's just a great game overall, so if you have the chance to play it at whatever level, I can definitely recommend it. It's really cool. So when this thing moves 3 tiles forward, I should have kept the moth in like nearby to Karibo so we can get an SP, but it's okay. How about, let's save state this as well. But how about we still use Karibo's SP ability? Can Karibo SP still? No. Okay, that was stupid. My bad. That was utterly useless. But maybe we can bait the enemy to come more towards the right side again. Okay. It's just that Cockroach Knight is really not powerful and will probably get destroyed very quickly. So we need to use the few attacks it can sponge up as baits at a time where it actually matters, I think. That's something we should aspire to do. And we need to be careful about this in particular, but I'll just move it forward. Maybe we can attract some enemies. And maybe move the arm to the left side as well? I have no idea. Let's see how this plays out. Team Archer says, we do outsourcing work for banks, so we can't bring in anything that can record information. Oh, okay. That, I think that does make a lot of sense. Marquis says, 2 new people, welcome. Yeah, definitely a huge welcome to all the new guys in the chat and gals, although I think majority will probably be guys, but for all the gals who might tune in as well, of course, warm welcome to all of you as well. We appreciate every single one of you who tunes in and has some fun with us playing this amazing, amazing, hugely underrated game. Team Archer says, no, Dominic says, thank you, I bought Aesir sealed card deck through Card Market today online and I'm waiting for that deck. Okay, I have no idea what deck that is, but sounds fun. I love Nordics in Yu-Gi-Oh! Never had real life deck ever. Okay, first real life deck. I know the feeling. Last year, I played the TCG properly for the first time in my life. It was the Digimon TCG, and I had such a blast with it. Buying cards, sealing cards properly for the first time. It was... I know the feeling. It's great, isn't it? It's honestly a great feeling. Was that smart, what I just did? Maybe we can bait it even further with Cockroach Knight. Will Zoa become a problem? No, I don't think so. Not in the foreseeable future. I could... Okay, but wait a minute. We have to watch out for Karibo. Okay, believe in Cockroach Knight. Guy, it seems that you're quite fond of Cockroach Knight, so you are rooting for the underdog, which I can understand, of course, but it's not like Cockroach Knight is weak in that sense. The attack, okay, actually the attack difference is quite significant, but it's difficult to beat a monster that has evolved twice already and is a higher level on top of that. So actually the attack difference is not significant, but movement and especially attack range is just so poor for this monster. We could get rid of Ryukishin now. But Karibo would have to face 2 attacks. 2? Actually just 2 attacks. But we don't... It's not worth. But maybe Ryukishin would attack Karibo instead, and then there would be a higher chance for this thing to survive as well. So how about we keep it like this? Marjoma says Dino is popular today. And it seems like today we have a bit more traffic than usual, which I definitely appreciate. Whatever helps to bring more people to this game is hugely appreciated. I told you guys, we will make Capsule Monster Coliseum more popular than it has been before in this community. And even though it might not be a huge difference, we will do whatever we can. There's so much fun to be had in this game. And I don't think it's just for veteran players. especially now with the randomizer coming out, with the Libra mod, we have many ways that we can play this game. Okay, but now I need to think. Sorry guys, I just quickly need to zone out a bit. That kind of stinks. That kind of stinks, doesn't it? Okay. Let's... I don't know. Go double on Needle Ball. We need to be careful because Zoa can attack this moth, but it can also attack Cockroach Knight in this particular alignment. So we can't block Zoa. That would have been incredibly funny though, but we can move it somewhere else. And essentially, the moment Zoa moves on there, we can get an extra attack in with our right arm, which is pretty good. Also move the symbol a tad bit closer, because the huge PP will mean that we don't really run the risk of losing it. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so let me quickly catch up. Team Artist said something about the security thing I was asking about. Did I miss any of these messages? If I did, again, apologize, but there's a lot going on in the chat right now, which I definitely appreciate. Used to be banker, worked in the office and from home. We had many security features. We only used VDIs and had calls wired through it into desk front. Damn, okay. I mean, I can understand that in the world of banks. Damn, it would be a crazy parody game, World of Banks. I gotta save that idea for later. That security plays a much different role than it would in like your regular run-of-the-mill tech company or something like this. Special safety attachment to our routers, okay. Everyone lost an underdog, fair enough. I don't know, for some reason I'm not very fond of Cockroach Knight, but maybe he can convince me if this run goes well today. Maybe he can win me over. Be the winner of hearts, if not for anything else in this run. Dominic says, I'm right now also watching GX Season 2 where Jaden beats Sartorius. Damn, nice. I plan on rewatching, or for the first time ever, properly watching Season 3 and then Season 4 of GX with in Japanese, because of course there's a lot of stuff that wasn't translated. And I watched some recaps of the first two seasons, because I watched them a few years back, but then I didn't remember all the things again, and I want to do more Tag Force content in the future as well. So I need to I want to get a bit more familiar with the characters again, so I can like edit in some nice jokes, you know, in the videos, which I like to do from the abridged series, and there is no abridged series for GX, I think. However, I watched some recaps for the first two seasons by a guy, I forgot, Anime Hero or whatever, but with an I instead of an E. I think that was what his tag was. And this dude has such a strong German English accent that it's already almost loops back into being charming again. But some pronunciations really did kill me, honestly. It was nice on one side because of it. It had a specific flair to it, but also some words I couldn't understand on my first time listening to it. But maybe a native speaker would have an easier time to do that as well, so I have no idea. Okay, now I need to think again. We need 2 attacks for Zoa. We could use these 2, but we would also need an attack for Needle Ball. And these other monsters are also slowly moving in, but luckily here's a gap. These gaps are sometimes truly the saving grace on this stage. Okay, but then wait a minute. Would that be enough, you think? I just want to see it real quick. Emil says he's sorry. There's quite a few messages again. Fang Nordic sounds like a fun deck. I believe it's a synchro deck if I remember correctly. Okay, that sounds cool. It'll be a lot of fun playing it. Yeah, but like I think no matter what you play as your first deck. Okay, no, that was way too much AP. No matter what you play as your first deck in. Wait. no matter what you play as your first deck, but if it's your first physical deck that you ever had, I think it's just a great experience overall. Wait a minute, do we need to get rid of Zoa this turn? Is that really necessary? Is that really necessary even? Like, wait a minute, let me reconsider. It can't move to this field, it can't move to this field now. It can move to this field, but we can easily avoid that, like by just doing something like this. It cannot attack the right arm. It cannot attack this moth. It can attack this moth, but this moth is like bubbled anyway, so. And we could move over there, but then it can be attacked by this moth. I don't really know what to do right now. Let me just quickly think. Okay. I meant Team Orchid says, okay, I meant the streamer pronouncing my name right. Did I pronounce it right? That's so great to hear. I butchered many of names from people in the chat, so I hope, I'd like to think that I'm getting better at it. Emil says his AI is playing it correctly. Practice covering for pieces. Yeah, he is quite an opponent to behold, isn't he? Team Orchid, I don't quite know what that means. Is that like a phrase or like a sound you make as like a confirmational sound, or is it a reference I'm not getting? Dominic Fang says, have you ever played Duels of the Roses? That's a classic Yu-Gi-Oh game. Yes, I actually made a video on it as well. Like the first 3 videos on my channel are video essays on Forbidden Memories, Duels of the Roses, and Capsule, MUTO, Coliseum. Forbidden Memories, by far the most successful out of these 3, which is a given. It's popular as fuck, but my Capsule Monsters Coliseum, honestly my first video I made on the game, which is the video essay thing, I used an image from Google because I wanted to have a picture of myself as a small kid sitting in front of the TV playing games or watching TV, because I was referencing myself as a child in the intro, and I didn't have one available at the time. I even asked my family if they had it. We couldn't find anything at the time, so I just Googled a kid that's in front of a TV, and it shows a very colorful image that I thought, yeah, that's okay. And it turns out it's pretty obviously AI, but I didn't think much of it. And so many people wrote comments that they stopped the video immediately when they saw that I was using an AI image, which I to a degree understand. I understand the critical nature for using AI art. I just had no idea, honestly. I was so oblivious to that that I didn't think twice about it. And it's interesting how much of an impact that made for people. So I will definitely not do anything like that in the future. And I managed to cram out some other older pictures of me sitting in front of a PlayStation or an old computer, which I already used in some of the videos afterwards. So we're not doing that anymore. Maybe I should play the game a little bit and then catch up to the other messages. I don't want to move the moth to the front here, because then I think we are risking getting attacked by these dudes. Are we? Are we not? And this thing as well. Okay, this... People, I don't really know what I'm doing right now. I have no idea what I'm doing. Let me just quickly load back into this. What if we do it completely differently? Excuse me, what if we just take rid of Zoa completely? Like this. And we get rid of this thing for good. Or this, no, we can't one-shot it, then it's this thing. Okay. I think we will, all of our pieces will survive for now, so we should be fine. Cockroach Knight can move forward as well. So far so good. I think we will do something like this. Yeah, so Duels of the Roses, what I wanted to say is out of the 3 first videos I did on this channel, Duels of the Roses I think turned out the best, honestly, and it was my favorite. And especially because I found that that game also has multiple mods for it, and not just the one Redux mod that most people know about. Now actually there's a Redux mod 2.0 or whatever. But there's more mods, some of them not finished, but I was surprised to see a more active modding community than I had expected, and generally I liked the way that I wrote that video script and how I edited it a bit more than I did the CMC video, which is a bit of a shame because CMC is my favorite game out of this franchise, but what can you do? You can't get them all, right? So yeah, I have played Duels of the Roses, not a lot though, and I would love to do it on stream and explore some of the mods as well, but all in due time, because we have a lot to do in CMC and as well as Tag Force, which is my other favorite series from this franchise, that I want to pay some respect by covering it extensively in this channel. I think we'll get rid of Rikishin here. Let me just quickly save this to slot 8. Because we have the piece, then we'll have the piece down. And this monster is not something we need to worry about, I think. And I could even SPA. But will that take way too much AP? No, it won't. That was quite vernünftig. Whatever the English word for that is. Okay, something like this. GX has an abridged series, really? Like, but not by Little Karibo. I'm pretty sure about that. But is it good? I mean, to be fair, the English dub is basically an abridged series. It is actually pretty good. Okay, I need to check that out then. Also, you get cool new Link Fairy monsters. Okay. I have no idea about modern Yu-Gi-Oh! The only time I got a glimpse of that was when I played Master Duel when it came out. And I got a bit familiar with the first Master Duel meta when the game dropped for like the first month or two. And then I stopped playing because I lost a bit of interest, and then from that point on it was just, it was over. But I think if you get into the game properly and you play fun decks and you don't play ultra competitive, I think modern Yu-Gi-Oh! There's also still a lot of fun to be had, I think. But I've seen a lot of negativity in the YouTuber community for Yu-Gi-Oh! So I think there are some issues that have really crept up on a lot of people that can't be ignored, but I wouldn't really know much about them. Guys, I'll actually move my microphone a bit closer. If I happen to be way louder than before or too loud, then of course feel free to mention it in the chat. But I think the sound might improve a bit if the microphone is a bit closer. Ah, God. Only downside I wouldn't have more sleeves, but it's fine. I got IRL from Dex. Lights, oh my God, Light Horns. Dude, GX Tag Force 3 using Light Horns for the very first time, even though it was in a video game, that was... Oh my God, I love that game. We are so playing Tag Force 3 on this channel at some point. Get your asses ready for that. Oh my God. I just need to think of some cool challenge ideas for these games as well. But someone, was it Pavel or who mentioned it last time? Some people came up with a King of Games challenge for the first Tag Force game, where you have to win every single duel, or like you fail and have to restart again. That sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. I think this could be extended to other Tag Force games as well, in one way or another. Yeah, there's so much fun to be had still with these games, guys. It's so good. Hype. Red Dragon Archfiend also nice. Damn it. Oh my God, so many of these things that trigger nostalgia for me. I got 11 synchros for it, including Crimson Dragon Quartz Sentry and Red Tyrant Dragon Quartz. I don't know these cards, sadly, but I'm sure they're also very cool. Guy says you should have just used a photo of you now, but just poorly photoshopped to look small. That would have been brilliant. That would have been brilliant. It would have been funny and the nice, nice cop out of not having the picture that I wanted. Yeah, but with the tone that I set up for that video, the intro was like basically baiting into being a pseudo, deeply emotional, nostalgic look, like looking back at memories from my childhood of a game that's very dear to me, and like the punchline was a very cheap joke on the fact that you're using yellow balls with hair, like yellow eggs with hairy balls inside, referencing Karibo, of course. So I don't know if that would have exactly fit the tone, because it would have been too funny for this bait and switch to work, even though I don't know if it worked that well anyway. But you know, I'm still somewhat new to YouTube and like sprinkling in comedy into these things, so I'm learning. That's the excuse I'll use for any jokes that fall completely flat in any of my videos. But I mean, some of you guys seem to like my editing style, or at least the concepts of my videos, so I think there's something I'm doing right. Which is a good feeling. More than you can ask for, I think. Some red Tyrant Dragon again. I don't think I know the card. Switch to Digimon TCG for now. Damn, Marquise, you also play. Did you tell us about that already? I can't even remember. So you've been playing the Digimon TCG, and how is the game currently? I think, is it already the way that the TCG and the OCG, if you will, have caught up to each other, like that the European like Western releases are now synchronized with the Japanese releases, or is that still an ongoing process? Because I remember that being like a huge topic back when I was playing for the little while that I was. And guys and gals, Merrick Falls, Area 3 is cleared. We did it. We did it. It wasn't particularly difficult, I think. It just took the time to do the moves properly, so we keep all of our monsters, we keep all the XP that we need to level up. Area 4, I think, could be a bit challenging. Let me think about fights. I mean, Area 5, especially Yummy Merrick, could be troubling because of the fire monsters he plays. Are we... Yeah, let's do PP again. I think PP is always a good answer to any of life's difficult questions. We're taking these and we are advancing. I think I started talking about 3 things in the last 60 seconds or so, and I completely forgot all 3 of them, so let me try to to regain the point I was trying to make. Yeah, Area 4 probably going to be difficult, but I think still manageable. Until we reach Area 5, I think we'll have a somewhat easy sailing. Still playing Master Duel from time to time, though. I should log into Master Duel occasionally just to get all the free points you get easily, and then later just build some sick decks for free. I think the game is, honestly, even though some of the monetization strategies are probably very predatory, as with most games right now online, the time where it started, when it was released, you could build quite a few meta decks if you did it properly, without paying a dime, which I thought was cool, more than you get in other card simulator games. And I don't know if that's a good thing for Master Duel, or if that's just really it just really speaks a lot about the current state of these free-to-play online games and how crazy the monetization strategies have got over the years. Oh, and read up on new Yu-Gi-Oh cards just to look at cool-looking cards. Yeah, like some card arts in Yu-Gi-Oh are also just complete bangers. Is dueling still a thing? Are people playing that actively? I know that this was a huge thing back in the day, and I never played it myself. Evil Hero, Destiny Vision Hero. Okay, nice. Heroes, always nice. Always fan favorites, never meta, I think. Or was there ever a meta where heroes were actually really good? New Supreme Ruler Neos card. That sounds sick. Okay, Guy says, problem with Yu-Gi-Oh is cost of decks is high. That's actually, like, Digimon, I think, is one of the cheaper games. And even then, you know, for a good deck, you are dishing out 120, 30 bucks plus for good competitive decks. And I think in Yu-Gi-Oh numbers, that's actually quite low. And I think there have been Digimon decks where just for the card prices alone, for 60, 70 bucks, sometimes you could get, like, top meta decks in some points in the game's lifespan, which is crazy. No, they haven't got released. For the Digimon TCG, yeah, they are unified now. Either the current or next booster release. Okay, that's cool. That's actually pretty nice. Earth symbol? No, I call it frontline tank. Wait, what do you mean, Emil, with the Earth symbol? You mean... you mean the symbol piece. Yeah, frontline tank is... I mean, you know, now the PP's gotten so big. Can it even get bigger? The answer is yes, of course, but not much. Okay, guys, which enemy are we picking? Which enemy are we picking? We have enough people. We can do a bit of a poll. Are there any favorites you would like to see get their ass whipped? Ass whooped, not whipped. What the hell am I even saying? Any suggestions, any wishes for you guys? Tom Azard, welcome to the stream. So glad to see you in the chat. Thank you for joining us here. So glad to see new names as well. Gone, it was always gonna be a thing. What is gone exactly? I think you're referencing something that I might have mentioned a few minutes ago. I just don't remember, so sorry for that. Emil says Edison format. Wait a minute. Did I miss? I probably missed part of the conversation, so now I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but as long as you guys are having fun, I'm glad. I play Duel Links for Rush Duels. Okay, Rush Duels. I don't know rules of those. I know they had different like mechanics for some like formats they have, but I have zero insight into anything that's specific to Duel Links. Heroes are good on the Edison. I didn't know that. I also don't really know much about Edison. I've seen a few YouTube videos on it, but you know, never played it myself. Probably gonna check it out at some point. Yeah, Tom Azard. I think Tom Azard or Tom Azard is definitely a new viewer, so really glad to see some new names in the chat again. We have a lot of traffic today. It's really cool to see. Offer free options at the start. When they are hooked, bam, time to pay. Yeah, it's a classic thing, and I think across the board in all games that do that, it's way over the top. I just know that some games I think give you even less to hook you, and they still manage to hook you, but I've heard people say back in the day Master Duel was pretty generous with the amount you got at the beginning. And we all knew they would pull the rug under us and give us way less later on. But still, the initial, like, upfront amount you got was more than I would have expected. Okay, Guy says Ishizu. Dominic Fang says, I'm playing Tag Force 2. Damn, teaming up with Asta. Oh my god. I'm sorry, dude. My condolences. Is Destiny Heroes one of the freaking worst archetypes ever made? Or is that just my memory? Because I was never even remotely close to a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh play in any sense of the word, so I have no idea about actual functionality. I know a few cards from the archetype were used in some strategies. But was Destiny Hero ever a thing as like an engine or like having its own win condition that is anyhow reliable to win duels that are not against bots and Tag Force, because of course you can win duels like that. Okay, so Ishizu, we had one suggestion for Ishizu, and if there are no other suggestions, then this is the opponent of choice. Let's kick it. Azar Gaming says, you play Master Duel. Hello Azar Gaming, so glad to see you. Thank you for joining us and contributing in the chat. So nice to see your name here. Currently we're not playing Master Duel, and we are also not going to play Master Duel today. I haven't played Master Duel months, and also not on stream. Maybe at some point in the future, if there's like some ideas that we could try out, some very specific weird shenanigans. But for now, we'll keep it with some classic Yu-Gi-Oh games from back in the day. Very nostalgic. But if you're a fan of Capsule Monster Coliseum or other Yu-Gi-Oh games from the PS2 era, from the PlayStation era, Game Boy era, maybe even like the PSP era, my particular one that I enjoyed a lot, stick around and also make sure to check the channel. We have a few challenges for this game up. We have a few video essays on other Yu-Gi-Oh games on the channel, and more is coming soon. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, make sure to subscribe to the channel or stay tuned, stay in the stream. You're welcome to join us here, have some fun, discuss some other topics related to Yu-Gi-Oh or even other franchises. We're having a good time here every Thursday evening. So yeah, I hope you enjoy your stay and have fun. He can make questionable choices. Thank you though, yeah, okay. Archetype was trash, but few monsters were played regardless. Yeah, I mean, some specific effects always find their way into other strategies, right? But like, what were the monsters? Like, there was like zero synergy. There wasn't like an overarching fusion gimmick that you at least had with elemental heroes, which I found pretty cool. But I also grew up on the GX anime, so like it's let's not pretend like I'm not heavily biased. Thomas Odd says, I love Capsule Monsters. I've been thinking of doing a level 1 only Iron Man run to make the game more challenging. Dude, this is one of the runs on the list that we are so going to do on the stream. And it's just a matter of when we're going to do it, but like not receiving any experience on like not being allowed to level up anything is definitely one of the run ideas that we are keeping in the back pocket for a future run. So I would love to see how you fare in that kind of challenge and what your experiences is, and also what kind of symbol and monsters you pick for this challenge. And especially, I think it begs the question, how often do you change monsters? Because one of the glaring balancing issues in this game is, in its vanilla state, leveling up monsters is so overpowered, it's often not worth picking up late game monsters, because whatever they provide, be it more movement or attack range, they often come at such a higher cost that they'll start at level 1. Until you level them up, your starting monsters are often so strong anyway that it's really not necessary. So I'd really be curious, if you do a run like this, what kind of experience you might have, and maybe you can give us some suggestions when the time comes that I do this kind of challenge on the stream. Maybe we can choose different strategies and see which one fares better. Would really like to find that out. But until then, we are fighting Ishizu now, and something is telling me we won't have troubles at all, because Ishizu also doesn't really support her element, like her attribute well. She has 2 wind monsters, and she has 1 wood monster. Doesn't make any sense, like why the hell? And it's the first one she summons. There's a reason for this, of course, it's the most mobile, but what can you do? Margin says, I've been coming back and forth since I'm pretty busy at work today, but wow, do you know, Dono, I should have called myself Dono, dude. What a missed opportunity. Actually, so it's pretty freaking good now that I see it, but yeah, I already chose the name, so gotta stick with it. Also, it's my real name, without the H, of course, but what can you do? But yeah, the run is going pretty well. If I wasn't talking as much, of course it would go much more quickly, but part of the reason why I started streaming is just because I wanted an excuse to endlessly ramble about the topics that I want. And stream, what better way to do that than to stream in front of people who for some reason like to listen to that. So yeah, what better way to do that? Team Orchid says, I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! I've just been going down a rabbit hole with challenge runs. Thanks to Funbox's Exodia run. Yeah, dude, Funbox's Exodia run. I saw half of that video, I think. I don't even know how exactly it ended. I always put it off to, I'm gonna finish it later at some point, but it's crazy that someone did a challenge run like this, and it definitely was a main inspiration on doing the Exodia run in this game as well. So if you haven't seen our Exodia run for Capsule Monster Coliseum, make sure to check that one out. It was way better, I think way more interesting than the Karibo run. Fun fact, I don't know if I ever told this, before I did the Karibo run, which was the first challenge run I did in this game, which kicked off this whole thing of challenge runs in Capsule Monster Coliseum, and I think even, maybe I was the first one on YouTube to do that, I don't even know for sure, but I think it was the first video to get popular doing that, at the very least. Before that, I did a run only using monsters from the starting shop, like not being able to pick up any monsters along the way, and you might be able, like, you can probably imagine, the run was so incredibly easy. I still have footage of it. The run was so easy that I said, screw it, I'm gonna do a Karibo only run because that one was too easy. Imagine that. How easy that run must have been that I thought using only Karibos could be a challenge, potentially. You know, needless to say, I never turned that run into a video because I knew that it's not very interesting to watch. And I did not want to have a video like this up, especially as the first challenge, where everybody might get the impression that this game is so easy, there's not much entertainment to be had here. I wanted to prove that there's a lot of fun to be had in this game, either as a player or as a viewer. So yeah, just a little fun fact, because that was the first challenge run that I did. It was actually an incentive for me to rediscover this game, because I was coming back to this game, you know, every few years, every like 3 or 4 years, I would be like, hey, damn it, I haven't played Capsule Monster Coliseum in ages. Maybe, sorry, maybe I should check it out again. Would be fun, I loved that game back in the day. And before I returned to it for these challenges, it was actually, I think, the longest period. It was quite a few years where I never touched the game. For sure, like 5-6 years or something like this. And I was like, hey, what if I actually restrict myself? I saw other people do that with other games on YouTube and it seems fun. What if I just do that in this game? And then I tried it, and that's how I got the ball rolling in this. And it's tons of fun. So that was definitely true. That was a long rant, damn it. But I thought I'd give you that background info on these videos because, yeah, that's how that's how it started. Hazard says, "Wow, it was my junior high school game. I remember the light type Aegis is the coolest." Sorry, what's the Aegis? Aegis? It feels like I should know what that word or name is, but somehow I don't. Maybe I'm just completely clueless and embarrassing myself right now, but... Emil says, no, the monsters were generally weak and took too long even for that era. You mean Destiny Heroes? Diamond Dude and Disc Master were great too. I remember Diamond Dude and Disc Master even in Tag Force being used by other like NPC characters who had like some weird mill decks with very specific strategies where you... What's that one card called with that old dude doing like this, magically holding up a card, and then you drop, like you mill cards from your deck until you get a monster that is the level that you called out, and they would say like level 8, and then it would summon like Dark Magician of Chaos or something. I think that type of deck used some Destiny heroes, so the ones you mentioned, or something like along those lines. It's been so long. We will probably rediscover all of that once we get our fingers on the Tag Force series again, but of course, all in due time. Now, let me quickly set up everything here. Okay. So with the Shizu, of course, we have to be careful that, like, her monsters are... Wait, how do I show this? Oh my god. Around this area right now, but as you can see, this tiger moving around the other... I have a cursor, I can see, like the other part of the map. Sometimes trying to sneak in from behind and attack our lineup from a vulnerable point, and this monster looks so cool. But usually it's not a threat at all, and I don't think anything will change this time around. And now I missed so many messages, I quickly have to open the YouTube app so I can check them there. Okay, so wait a minute. Team Walker says, my favorite was the plant-only run, and not just because I've got a thing for the grass type in general. What do you mean in terms of like challenge runs on YouTube? Or like Forbidden Memories? I don't know. I don't remember the plant run in specific, but I've seen quite a lot of them. You mean the genre runs? I think you're mentioning, right? Because he did most of these runs. Although I know a few other YouTubers, like Funbox is one of them, and I think I've seen someone else also do some Forbidden Memories challenge runs, and also maybe a little spoiler just on the side. There will also be a Forbidden Memories run on the slightly unusual kind on the channel here as well. The gameplay is already done, so definitely stay curious for that one. It won't be anything crazy, but just something nobody has ever done in that sense before. So I think it could be quite fun, you know. Madroma says, hey, you can use the randomizer to make it more challenging. Wait a minute. To Tom Azad. Yeah, for sure. Like, Margin definitely may advertise your tool as much as you can, because people need to know about this. That this is available and that you can do so many crazy things with it. Great stuff. Don O Kebab. Is that a thing? Like, I love doner turkey kebab. How do you say this in English? Doner kebab. It feels weird pronouncing it in English. So good. Sometimes I buy IRL. Okay, I see. There is now makes the game much more challenging. I'm a bit proud of it. Yeah, Margin, I think you can definitely be proud of it. There's a lot of features you added. So I think we're all glad that this thing exists, and we will put it to good use very soon in the stream. Emil says Kariba only run is pretty much a speedrun mode. Yeah, it is. I could have just played more relentlessly and just destroyed the whole game with it. Would have been pretty easy, but I still didn't fully grasp how powerful Karibas were. But yeah, what can you do? Dominic says, is the PP a monster piece health? Yeah, the PP in this game is health. For some reason, they didn't call it HP, they called it PP. I don't know why, but what can you do? And there's Terminator 101XX. Hey, been watching your videos and you got me to start doing challenge runs myself. Terminator, welcome to the stream. So glad to hear that. Amazing. That's exactly the goal of this. Spreading the word that this game is freaking fun. And what better way than inspire people to do challenge runs like these themselves? Amazing. So that I'm very glad to hear that, honestly. Wonderful. TG Hyperlibrarian. I don't know what you're referencing right now. Is that something I should understand? Maybe I'm just clueless once again, as is often the case. Okay, let's place Karibo over there. Let's have this moth attack. Oh wait, do we need to do? Oh yeah, we need to do that. Okay, that's all right. Now let's keep the pace up so we can defeat some more enemies. So this doesn't take way too long. Alrighty.
My vision of the future is crumbling.
Yeah, PowerPoints. That's definitely what they're supposed to mean, but I mean it's hilarious, isn't it? An endless pool of jokes you can fish from. Fantastic. Great for videos when you need a cheap gag in between. I am, of course, speaking from experience. Damn, dude. Okay. I've done a Blue Eyes only run, says Terminator, and the Dragon Champ run so far. Okay, interesting. Currently working on an Ultimate Dragon run. That sounds pretty cool. I was thinking about how we could make a Blue Eyes run interesting, or what parameters we could set to make it maybe not necessarily just about the Blue Eyes, but use the Blue Eyes as an as an accompanying feature of the run. To also maybe promote the video a bit, of course, always a bit of a afterthought. I think Blue Eyes is so popular that we need to do something with it. But I'm curious, Terminator, how challenging was the run with using Blue Eyes only? Or how exactly did you set it up? Did you get Blue Eyes from a different save file and then start with just Blue Eyes monsters in the beginning? Did you only use one, or did you use three? Or like, what was the rule set? Or what was your idea? Maybe we can draw some inspiration for that and maybe make it even more challenging for our next challenge run, if the way you played it might have been a bit easier than you expected. King Tiger is a cool monster. Yeah. I mean, it just is. I love the icon. Mobility is also good. Attack range is, but I mean, it's an Earth. Excuse me. It's an Earth monster, so what can we really expect? But we should stay wary and not risk way too much, because getting to Ishizu's symbol... Oh boy, look at that. That was a death sentence. Getting to Ishizu's symbol can be a pain, because this one final lane towards her little peninsula here is... yeah, it's not a peninsula, but you know what I mean. Is so difficult to maneuver around if you don't have crazy mobility, but the moths have crazy mobility, so that's all good. Sadly no one-shot, but that's okay. Because we do have two monsters nearby, so all is nice and good. Okay, I need to pay attention that I'm not talking... Yeah, I was talking way too loud again. I really didn't notice that with my headset on. It's crazy. And my smoothie is quite thick, but it's so freaking delicious. Okay, so what other messages did I miss? Team Orca says in Forbidden Memories, Funbox did plant only. Really? I thought he did insect only. Didn't he also do insect only? Maybe he did both. Okay, I like the spell fusions. Okay, yeah, spell fusions. There is a video that I got recommended a couple months ago, I think, randomly. Someone showing off all the weird fusions in Forbidden Memories, and there's so many crazy combinations. And I love that fusion mechanic, and I've been on a journey of exploring a few mods in this game. And because I think I already mentioned I want to make a bit of a video series on showcasing some of the mods. I know Dea Beatus, as always, is is beating me to a lot of great YouTube ideas for Yu-Gi-Oh games, because honestly that guy is just pumping out videos and streams. It's insane. I'd love to do the same thing, but sadly I'm a bit preoccupied with other things at the moment. We will increase the frequency at some point though, but you know, other things in life right now are just a bit more important, but that's okay. However, Daya does something similar, and I would like to kind of join in on exploring mods on Forbidden Memories in video form, and just, I don't know, maybe do it in a bit of a different fashion, in my own style, and maybe dive a bit deeper into some of the also not so great mods, because I think I explained last time already that I played one of the Dragon Ball mods, and I finished it, and there were some very peculiar choices that the developers made, which I really don't understand, because the fusion mechanic in Forbidden Memories allows for so much flexibility of how you obtain cards, how the flow of the gameplay is, that you can do so many things. And a few weeks ago I started playing the Digimon mod, the first one. There's also two. The first one, and I'm also a bit disappointed with how the fusions work there, because honestly, I think I would have ideas how to do it better, quite frankly. I don't want to sound arrogant, and I have no idea if I'd ever had the ability to like, pull that off. I mean, there are modding tools for Forbidden Memories, but just in terms of conceptualizing, like, the difficulty curve and how cards are obtained or fused, I think, for some reason, they seem to leave a lot of potential within the fusion mechanic on the table, which I find is a shame, because that's the coolest aspect of Forbidden Memories to me. But I don't know, maybe people get different enjoyments out of Forbidden Memories. I just love the fusions in particular. That's what kind of keeps me coming back to the game in its various iterations. Okay, now it's time for the whipping. And we are not winning this turn, but we are so winning next turn. You can bet everything on that. Yeah, and I don't think we need to worry about the tagger. We get some nice juicy bonus XP from the symbol, but yeah, that's okay. Grass and Pokemon usually has to pull some funky stuff, so it was cool to see Yu-Gi-Oh's plant cards result to something similar. I didn't know. I have very, very limited knowledge of Pokemon. Like, almost zero. Is that a general thing, that grass is kind of bad if you use it exclusively? Or is it because of the trainers and the enemy lineups in the late game of most Pokemon games? Or is it like a lack of good abilities? I have no idea. What's the reason?
Congratulations, Yugi. I do not know how.
Margin Mama says I should shut up about it. Sorry, dude. No problem, dude. You don't have to feel sorry. I think it's more than fair to tell people about a tool, especially in such a small niche community, and especially a tool that is unprecedented in the community like this. Like, you are the first to develop something like this specifically, and we have so little extra content for this game that I think mentioning it frequently enough, especially to new viewers, is more than legitimate. So no hard feelings at all. This game is fun, I agree. I agree, this game is a lot of fun. That's the synchro with the guy pointing finger and holding book with the other hand, I believe you were talking about before. Oh yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, I vividly remember this card. The AI in Tag Force games pulling off some very crazy plays with that. 10 minutes says that, yeah, I tried only one at first, but stage 2 was pretty much impossible, at least using the light symbol. I think that was your problem. You should have used the earth symbol, if that was not against your rules, because you would get an attack boost, and I think at that point, using only one monster, it makes a lot of difference. I should have also used the thunder symbol on my Gate Guardian and my Exodia challenge, but back then I had no idea that the differences are so drastic in symbols. And especially, like, just to have more resistance against the light opponents like Ishizu 2 in Area 5 would have mattered a lot, but I don't know, I was just too oblivious at that point. He says, alright, my relief is late, so I gotta make some calls. Be back eventually. No problem, dude. Just take your time, and we will very likely be back when you return. So, yeah, see you later, and thank you for tuning in. Timothy says, my ultimate dragon run, I started with the light symbol, but got stuck on my, so I restarted with the earth symbol, because that gives light. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's kind of the key to success. Yeah, and also more fun, because honestly, with that little attack, with these small attack values here, you can see it right now in the run we're playing here. And I'm just going to play Shadi now, because why not? You can see it in the run right now. We have no attack boost on our monsters, and not from their own leveling up, and also not from the symbol. Wait, I mean darkness? Does darkness get increase in attacks? I don't remember. But it takes ages, honestly. There's no one-shots, nothing. Oh my god. Yeah. Grass has a lot of status moves and tends to lack in raw power attack. Okay. That sounds pretty annoying, honestly. Oh my god. He attacked first. Are we gonna let this slide, or are we gonna reload? Is it important? We might be able to do it more quickly like this, so I will save scum the hell out of this. I'll briefly mute myself so you don't hear the insanely loud slurping that is occurring right now. That was delicious. Damn it. That was freaking delicious. Okay. Now, this time, we are prepared. Let's go, Shadi. Show us what you got. Okay. Everything's still going well. Microphone. If there are any issues in terms of audio or something, or any recommendations you might have, if you want me to be louder or more quiet, or the game audio to be louder, something like this, of course, feel free to mention anything at any point. These things are also quite easy to change usually. Unlike banning someone from my Twitch chat with the weird overlay issues that I have right now. But that's also no less important, so always gotta find solutions. How are we gonna do this now? I suppose we'll probably want to prioritize quickly dashing in and not setting up any Karibo. Excuse me. Maybe like this, actually. I think this is good. The game is a bit quiet. Well, in that case, this is something that we can easily change. I will increase the game volume slightly. And I'll increase it on your end even a little bit more, and then you can tell me if it's too much or not. Because I can imagine that the music at double speed can also get a bit annoying. But, of course, on your end it should also just be pleasurable in the sense that in the way that you perceive it, so I can always make it more quiet on my end while not changing anything on your end. Always good. Okay, Shadi. Typically, Shadi is not that much of a daunting opponent, but we have to be careful because now we didn't really have any AP to realistically spend on the symbol if we want to get both Moths out and the Karibo. And I think we will probably need that, a bit of an early advantage to get things going and stay safe throughout the run. But now we have enough AP, which is great to see. That was quite a risk not calculating that up front, but I think it's okay. That's a good volume. Nice. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Oh my god, just out of reach. Damn it, dude. How unlucky. The problem is now we don't have the attack power that we usually have in these runs, so we won't be able to just dish out so much damage that we roll over his pieces and just straight attack the symbol as quickly as we can. But I think we'll still have a good shot, especially because these two, and damn it, those are both wind monsters. Okay, this will probably be fair game here. We don't align at all. And we can make our symbol not align as well. Dude, this music at double speed is insane. It's actual insanity. Karibo this side. Moth over here. Do we need to be scared? No, we are crushing. I think this will be a fairly fast shoddy run. At least in terms of the amount of turns that we need. I think this is going to be one of the fastest ones even so far in these challenge runs anyway. Because he can't block with any of his monsters. We can dish out multiple attacks, I think. Think we can get a... No, we can't. Oh no, dude. It's so close. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Save slot 4. Come on, Shadi, don't do this right now. Don't play games. There's only one king of games. And you know that. But all things considered, I think this is one of the easiest fights in the whole run. Is that a statement we can make? Yeah, that's the slurping I was talking about. I didn't even get I didn't get a drop from this drink right now. I was just trying to slurp it up on this giant ass straw and not succeeding at all. So I think that's that's the last bit of smoothie that I will have for today. But that's okay, it was very delicious. Alright, so now I think we need to do this. Which moth could use the XP? I think this one, level 6. Maybe we can cram in a bit more XP before that as well, though. What if we do a quick attack here? Yeah, just, it's probably not a lot of XP we'll gain. But, you know, hey, 3 XP points, that can make the difference. Probably won't, but it could. And there it is, Shadi goes down in a few turns. Like a handful of turns. Was that like the 5th turn we did, or the 6th or something? Maybe it was more. Maybe it just appeared like it was very, very brief, but in fact it wasn't. Doesn't matter. Damn, look at it. 101 XP. We instantly get a level up. We would have gotten it anyway from the finishing XP, of course, but it's still nice to get that bonus XP. And to finish a fight this season. Damn it, dude. We got a lot of finishing XP now. Crazy. We can max out our PP and we can start increasing our AP because the moment we evolve our moths to perfectly ultimate great moths, which I think is something we should do, probably, that will be the moment where we need a bit more AP to go with, so that's going to be alright. Okay, that was shoddy. Not that interesting, honestly, was it? There's a few fights that are going to be quite interesting, and I think it would be cool to do one of them right now. But before that, we will do a short break again. Just use a quick break to go to the bathroom to, again, open the window so it doesn't get way too stinky here, as we discussed earlier. So guys, don't go anywhere. I'll be back in something between 5 and 10 minutes, and then we will very likely clear out Area 4 today, and then at least we can leave Area 5 or a few of the final opponents for next time, and then maybe when we finish, hopefully finish this run with Solomon MUTO's monster lineup, we can get our hands on Majiwamu's randomizer and do some really weird stuff in this game. Don't go anywhere, I'll be back with you very soon. Alrighty, people, we are so back again. We are so back. Ready to destroy some capsules. Let's kick it. Final gauntlet of Area 4. One of the harder opponents, which I mentioned just before. Which one are we taking on? Bakura or Merrick? Actually, I would like to try Bakura because I think Merrick will be a breeze. So, we'll just spontaneously decide on Bakura. Did I just say it wrong? I meant it the other way around. Of course, Merrick will be the breeze because he plays a lot of wind monsters and not that many fire monsters. I think this will be pretty easy. Let's see how we fare against Bakura. Me neither. Bakura, me neither. But it's all nice and well. Okay, let's put OBS up here again. That's good. Alright, Yami Bakura. Interesting opponent. Very... I don't know how to say this. The thematic elements in this stage are very on the nose. It's so freaking dark. Everything, the blue flames, the purple sand on the ground. Everything. But it's nice, you know, it's a nice vibe, for sure. At moments like these, I get thoughts like, the people, I think there's some people who play, or did play in the past, played PvP in this game, like some somewhat competitive capsule monsters. Like, what the hell is the meta? How are you playing PvP in this game? How are you choosing the maps? Are you deciding on the symbols that you are playing against each other? I would be so curious to know, because the rock paper scissors type of system in this game is so crazy that I'm not quite sure how you balance it out. Okay, so damn, is it random which side Bakura chooses here? I always feel like I'm usually on the other side. Could be wrong though. It really doesn't matter, does it? Maybe something like this? No, actually. I need to figure out where I want to place the moths. I think probably something like this. And since we move 3, oh yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Maybe Karibo in the middle, actually, and then something like this. I think that's good. Alrighty. We pop the Karibo, we pop one of the moths, we pop the other moth as well, and we don't have anything else. We could move the symbol, but I don't think we need to.
Who knows where this duel will lead?
Who knows indeed. For some reason, Bakura is still one of my favorite villains from the classic Yu-Gi-Oh anime. I know he doesn't really do that much up until like the final season, like season 5. But I don't know, I just like him as a character. I like his design mostly, I think. And the fact that he stays like on the radar for so long also kind of, for some reason it's appealing to me, even though from a storytelling perspective, the way they pulled it off at least wasn't that convincing. But I don't know, for some reason I like this character. He does lack some standout recognizable monsters though, doesn't he? That's definitely how it feels like. Okay, Tryon Dragon is still not out. Pumpkin also not out. Okay, we're quite fast. We could sneak up and dish out some strong blows. Slot 4. Because I'm not quite sure how we're going to play this yet. But now we have more than enough AP. That's great. Also, now that I think about it, Yu-Gi-Oh had quite some really nice and very iconic villains in the classic anime era. Like Kaiba, I think, you know, we don't even have to talk about it. How crazy charismatic and recognizable he is and all of that. Should Kariba SP himself or one of the moths? I think one of the moths would probably be better, so how about we do this? Maybe something like that. My problem is the pumpkin is so freaking mobile. And moving to this field wouldn't make us attackable by it, so I think we will probably stay a bit further back and wait for for Bakura to come towards us, and not the other way around. Let's see. Okay, now we really don't have a lot of attack power. And we can feel that. We can so freaking feel that. We could let him come to us. Wait, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, okay. So we could stay here. Honestly, this is probably what we're gonna do. I shall place this here, place this thing over here, and maybe something like this. I think this is pretty good. Damn it, that hurts. Okay, this will be one of the more challenging fights, for sure. Like, there's no way it's not gonna happen. Like that. Oh my god. Let's see if we might need to reset this, or maybe return later with a few high levels. Because now they're powered up as well, that's gonna suck big time. We can get rid of Trion Dragon, like it's not like that, and we also benefit from this to some degree, but Pumpkin is such a pain. Such a pain of a monster. We could then place... Okay, I think we know... I know how I want to play this. We will dish out a decent blow with the arm. We will dish out another decent blow with Karibo. We will then move the moth over there, and we will then... Oh yeah, but this is also a problem. Pumpkin can just easily attack this moth as well, dealing probably insane damage. But at least there won't be the power-up of the sand fields that now have more darkness from the landform. At the very least, it's that, you know. Alrighty, I think we have 900. Okay, this is cool. Like, completely maxing out the PP count is very nice, isn't it? The biggest PP in the entire game. Fantastic. Truth be told, I did not expect this play. I really... Wow, but Korra has some surprises up his sleeves. I did not expect this kind of play at all. This completely took me by surprise. And it also means that we can move in with Karibo to also deal a blow here, so we can two-shot the penguin. And there it is. That was the second one. Okay, but we need to be careful about Needle Ball here, because this thing will come to get us. But that's fine, because it's not dark, so it doesn't benefit that much, I think, from the darkness fields. And we have enough capacity to worry about this thing right now, so that's okay. Yeah, I think that's the play we need to make. Bait it in. Sacrifice the shield. Okay, there it is. Okay, wow, that was not a lot of damage at all. I thought this thing hits harder than Trihorn Dragon almost. But is there a difference? No, there's not. Like, this tile is the same as this tile, so I thought maybe Trihorn Dragon was powered up by this tile for some reason, because it did so much damage. But it seems like that was not the case at all. Okay, we could play it a bit differently now. We could, for example, That's one attack. We can't dish out a lot of attacks against this thing, sadly. Okay, this is problematic. We could have almost one-shot it. Oh my god, that blows. That does blow, not gonna lie. But what we can do is we can hit Thunderball, whatever it's called. We can do something like this. I think I have a solid plan that I hope won't backfire. We'll move this where it can't attack, but I can get perfect blocked. And then move our symbol forward to block the next attack from Pumpkin. I think it's also quite decent if we do that kind of thing. And I think we have to end our turn on this, sadly. Alright, alright. I think things are going pretty good. Considering that some of the attacks we got at the beginning were pretty... Oh my god, I completely forgot how freaking mobile this thing is. Okay. Yeah, we cannot do that, apparently. That means we're doing things differently. We are blocking this way. We are attacking with the other moth into ball here. We are moving the arm towards this. That's why saves coming is so important for these challenge runs. I think without that we would be completely screwed. Okay. I think now this is okay.
I will not be defeated.
I mean, that does hurt, but we didn't lose pieces, so... And we have the highest PP count in the game. And we still get damaged so much, because of course they have the advantage of over our Earth symbol. But that's okay, because I think this turn we are getting rid of Pumpkin. Just need to make sure that we won't suffer any harsh consequences because of it, and we actually will, so we're not getting rid of Pumpkin, it seems. Which is the disgrace, honestly. Could we? But wait a second, can't we? Okay. Let me cook for a moment. What if we get a hit on Needle Ball here? Okay, this thing cannot attack us if we wait. 1, 2, 1, 2. No, it can't. So we can finish off Needle Ball with 2 hits. The problem is we can't get 2 hits onto Pumpkin, but that stings. That stinks. Does it sting or does it stink? You can decide for yourself. But if I move the moth onto that specific tile, I think we're done. Maybe we're not done, actually. I want to try this. I would love to try. Wait, can this thing level up? No, it's level 9 already. Okay. That's fair enough. We still have the other moth though. Guy, welcome back, Guy. I made my daring escape. What did I miss? Wait, who did we beat? We beat Shadi in a very quick duel. And now I decided I want to do the most challenging fight right now, just to see where we're at power level wise, and it's going better than I had expected. We did have to save scum quite a few times just to get our ass out of trouble, but if his Feral Imp does not destroy this moth right now, which I think it shouldn't based on the values that I see on screen right now, we should be fine. And maybe I can also bait it, like the symbol might also bait it to just attack into that instead, but we'll see. That's okay, that's something we can take. Yeah, oh my god, it attacked the symbol. Amazing. Wonderful. I think the moth would have survived. Now I'm curious. Now I'm actually curious. Now I need to know. Now I do need to know. Okay, we proceed as usual. Okay. And Cockroach Knight actually gets useful in this fight, and does an attack that will matter. Maybe not in terms of the making or breaking this run, but yeah, we do survive this. That's good to see. So it would not have been necessary. Our Moth can stand proud. Amazing. Okay. Cockroach Knight will get a finishing blow. I think the first one in the run. Is that true? Maybe not. But once more, one of our Moths will deal the final blow. We survive. We finish this with all 5 monsters intact, which is amazing. For some reason, it's always important to me to try and do this, even though it wouldn't be necessary, especially when I know that one of the next fights will be rather easy. But for some reason, I still love to do that. Iggy says, hell yeah, Cockroach Knight, I believe in you. Yeah, I mean, you predicted it almost. I think it's only fair to give Cockroach Knight a bit of the limelight. The spotlight, not the limelight, dude. What am I saying? And we're taking this with us, and we are advancing. Yeah, so GG's to Bakura, but he did not stand the ghost of a chance. I always need to say this at some point in the run. It's just it's necessary. It's not even just for fun. It's just freaking necessary. Alrighty. Oh my god, we have Kaiba and Merrick. I think now it's time to do Merrick, and then we can do Kaiba as probably the final fight of today. I can imagine. With the way the energy levels are currently feeling. But that would be great, because then we'd only have Area 5 left. And I think if we get that far, and we evolve our Perfectly Ultimates next time, we will probably find success. I hope, at least. Lucky, because I did not save at all. That's good. That's really good. Attacking first. Wonderful. Wonderful. 2 fire monsters. We can do that, right? I think we can succeed. 5 pieces. Deployment theme. Hype stuff. Okay, now we need to think a little bit about the placement. Or do we really? Do we need to think that much about the placement? I mean, I guess we do. I would like 1 moth on this side, probably 1 on the other side. But maybe one closer to the middle. Does this make any sense? I hope it does. Maybe like this. Slot 3, and we are kicking things off. 2 more to go, then Area 4 is cleared. Okay. This music is also epic and works surprisingly well with the double speed theme.
Entertain me. Here I go.
All right. I think we can just head out and make life a bit more difficult for Marek by using his own stage mechanic. Maybe we should have picked up a few more of these along the way, just to kind of drop down his, the PP of his monsters a bit more, but it's gonna be okay. Ben Uzgane, welcome to the stream. So glad to see yet another name in the chat today. Says, I've seen this guy's win reaction. Very disturbing. Which guy? You mean Merrick? Because I don't remember what he does when he wins. I don't remember if I've ever seen it, actually. But due to the distorted face and the voice, I can imagine it might be pretty fearsome or fear-inducing. But if you're talking about me, then yeah, what can I say? Sometimes I get carried away. Yeah, 3, welcome to the stream, 3. So glad to also see you in the chat. 3 says hello, hello back to you too. I hope you guys all have fun in the stream and you hang out with us a little bit and have some fun with Capsule Monster shenanigans. We are at Area 4, so if you don't know the game, this is basically, should you not be familiar with this game at all, it's essentially a PS2 Yu-Gi-Oh game that is a a turn-based strategy game. It's a bit of like chess and Yu-Gi-Oh combined into one. It's, if you know Duels of the Roses, it's a bit similar to that, but it's just a lot more heavy on the strategy elements and less on the cards, because there are none in this game. How about we move a bit forward with this thing? So Ben says, yeah, but I sometimes wonder if regular Merrick didn't have a dark side and was a pure monster on his own in the original story. I have no idea actually. Like, is there a big difference between like the dub that we got in West and the Japanese OG version? I don't even know. Like details like that, I have no idea. I should look that up at some point. 3 says, coming from a Exodia vid, how does this challenge stack up? So glad to hear that. Yeah, the Exodia vid actually was, I think, way better than the Kariba challenge, so I'm glad people are enjoying it. I put a lot of heart and soul into that video, because, I don't know, Exodia is just very dear to me as a concept in the franchise, and also, it's pretty unique in this game in particular with the fusion monster and everything. Yeah, oh my god, shut up, Marek, dude. That's one thing I'm looking forward to using the randomizer next time, is that I can just turn off these interruptions. That will be such a great feeling. Can't even imagine. I think we can move here reliably and then probably wait out his reaction. I think that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, that's precisely what we're gonna do. Maybe Cockroach Knight can move one tile forward. And we will use a safe state for this. This challenge is stacking up pretty well. Grandpa is pretty much like I think we universally agreed, more or less. Last time, Grandpa MUTO's lineup in this game is probably the worst in the entire game, considering that he plays an Earth symbol and has not a single Earth monster to his name, and also no light monsters that would benefit from it. So, considering all of that, the run is going great so far. We didn't have any extremely difficult obstacles. Like, the early game was doable. Area 2 was also doable, even though, you know, there were some rough spots here and there, but nothing where we said, okay, there's no way we're defeating this character. I'm expecting the final opponents to be a bit more tricky. But I don't think we will encounter anything that's really groundbreaking, except for probably Yummy Marek 2, who is the last fire monster in the entire run. Because fire monsters have huge attack, and we don't really have anything to counter them. We don't play any water monsters, so that is probably going to be the most interesting fight in the run. But we're getting close to it, and reaching it would already be a bit, you know, a bit of an achievement, so we're looking forward to that as well. And we also just beat Yami Bakura, who was quite a fierce opponent, but we managed to defeat him without losing any pieces, so that was also very cool. Yeah, so I would say, all things considered, the run is actually going surprisingly well so far. Okay, come on, Marek, show us what you got. Okay, fire monster, but not that much damage. We can tank that. That's cool. That is more than acceptable. Okay, stepping in the goo, getting damaged. Also the fire monster, that's great for us. Probably going to be able to finish it with 2 attacks now. Now we need to think about our moves a little bit. That's actually pretty respectable damage for Cockroach Knight. We don't need to do something like this, I think. But wait a minute, how much damage could we... No, we are so not doing that. How much damage could we dish out with Exodia's arm against... Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. We could 2-shot that thing quite easily. Couldn't we? Okay, so what we can do, of course, is... Can we 1-shot that? we cannot. Bree says, can I ask what you're emulating with? I'm using PCSX2, an older version, because that was when I tried the Libra mod for this game for the first time, which at that point required an older version, so I'm using 1.6. But you can emulate this game with newer versions as well, and it runs pretty well. I'm playing on a 1440 monitor, so I'm running it like widescreen and upscale. This is like 6 times the resolution. And it looks even better than what it looks like to you on YouTube, probably because the bitrate is a bit lower for the stream, because I'm restreaming this both to YouTube and Twitch. And if I wasn't, I could go for a high bitrate, and then it would actually look a bit better on YouTube as well. So when you play yourself, emulate yourself on your monitor, even on a 1440 monitor, it looks pretty freaking good. So yeah, it's a very nice experience. I can definitely recommend it. Okay, let me just try something. How about we do this? And then how about... How about we do this, maybe? Benusgana says, I don't need to cheat in Yu-Gi-Oh! I rely on pure skill and tactic to win. That's very commendable. That is very commendable. Okay, we're gonna destroy this. I am definitely cheating with the save states we're using, but you know, it's whatever. Whatever gets this going and keeps it going, especially.
This is not what I was expecting.
That hurts. I think Kariba will tank a few blows now, but I think, yeah, it's gonna be fine. But now we need to be a bit careful, I think. Now it's time to move in. Okay, it seems like Merrick will probably be even a bit more fierce than Bakura was for us. Did not expect that. Once again, I'm quite bad at kind of figuring out which opponents will really give us trouble and which are not. But I think we need to double attack this dragon down. Agi says, I took the Kaiba pill and just threatened my opponent that I'll do a flip if they win. Ah, that's harsh. Those are harsh tactics, but they do tend to work. At least against certain opponents. You mean regular evil Bakura? Evil Bakura, of course. Regular Bakura was not a threat at all, but Yami Bakura that we just did before this fight, I thought would be quite a problematic opponent, but it turned out he turned out a bit easier than I anticipated. Okay, now we could, okay, this could be interesting. I think this is good for Kariba. Staying safe and dealing a finishing blow, and we still get another attack off on the... Oh, we actually destroy... Yeah, okay, this fight is so over without any casualties. Amazing. And then we have Kaiba remaining, and then we can clear area for today. That would be so amazing. I'm certainly lost a monster 2 against him because he's hard. Not last boss hard, but hard. Evil Bakura? No, we didn't lose any monsters against him. I mean, I had to reload quite a few times. But it went surprisingly well because we were able to take out his Trihorn Dragon nicely, and I had our symbol that, even though it is an Earth attribute, because it has maxed out PP, 999, it was able to sponge up quite a few dark attacks, which allowed us to save both of our moths that were quite low, actually critically low. But that, you know, that made the difference. And Kariba is winning this. And Emil says, oh fuck, I fell asleep in my chair, what did I miss? Oh man, that's kind of hilarious, but also sounds pretty cozy. That happened to me a few times, and if your chair is cozy enough, it can actually be pretty cool. What you missed is we just wiped the floor with Merrick, and before that with Bakura. Bakura was easy because we won without any casualties, which was surprising. I thought Bakura would give us a very hard time. But Merrick, who I thought would not give us a hard time at all, now was starting to feel a little bit shaky, you know. If I misplayed a few things, on top of how it went now, we could have easily lost the monster, but it turned out well, so everything is good. Everything is Gucci. Level 9 Great Moth, finally. Even though it will soon reset to level 1. If we manage to pull it off properly. Let's pick this up, maybe the 2-Math Dark Rule as well. Guys, one more opponent, and then we clear area 4. Ben says, did you say you did or didn't lose a monster against Yamabakura? We did not. We did not lose anything against him. It was quite close, but everyone survived, all 5 pieces. You can actually go in the YouTube stream, you can rewind a little bit and check just the end of the fight, and you will see all of our monsters surviving, and you can see how everything occurred. So if that's if you're interested in the specific, how do you say this, order of events, then you can check that. You're doing the King Coliseum today? Probably not. Probably maybe one fight or something, just to level up the moths, but I'm not quite sure yet. It depends a bit on the energy levels and how they develop during this fight, because I'm already a bit sleepy, but we'll see how it goes. Did you fuse? What exactly? Like, we don't have anything in the team, so like, maybe I should elaborate, maybe it wasn't clear. The challenge that we're doing is we're using only the pieces that Grandpa MUTO uses in Stage 1. He's the 5th opponent in Stage 1. There's no monsters we can fuse, to my knowledge anyway, and also the moths can be evolved, maybe that's what you meant, but you can only evolve the final stage of the moth once you have 40 map attributes of wood on one specific tile on the map, and that is not possible on any map prior to the King Coliseum. The first map where that is possible is Pegasus 2, because then you can choose the attributes of the map tiles, and they all gain exactly 40 map attributes. So that's what he figured out during the that's what he figured out during the last challenge run, where we played basically as Tristan. And the moths are quite potent pieces, but without a wood attribute, not so much really. But we're probably still gonna go for them because they have crazy attack range. Marquis also back, so glad to see that. Had to leave PC for a while. That's absolutely no issues, dude. You missed a couple of fights, I think, but we didn't lose any pieces in the last 2 fights. Surprisingly, not even against Yamabakura. And Merrick now also went pretty fine, even though it was a bit more challenging than I would have expected, especially compared to his other villain counterpart in this area, but it's okay. Who did we... Yeah, Merrick was Yami Merrick, Wind. So this is the last opponent for Stage 4. And I think this will go pretty well. How about we, again, just frontline our tank monster? Can we do something like this? I mean, we could cross the border here very illegally. Just kidding, of course. And we could maybe do something like this. Cockroach Knight will not be that useful in this fight, I fear, because... Well, mostly because... Excuse me. He's slow. He's actually pretty freaking slow, but that's okay. Okay, people. Save slot 3. We're kicking things off. Kaiba, final opponent of Area 4. I always want to say Stage 4, but they're not referred to as stages in this game, I believe. Okay.
Don't cry. This will soon be over.
There's one fire monster. It's the same one we just faced against Merrick that we need to worry about. Of course, in this time there should be less... I completely forgot about that. You could actually block your symbol. Wait, but on this occasion, I would really like to find something out. What if you perfect block a egg and then you summon it? It keeps the block. Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. But of course, we don't want to block that thing. What do we want to block? Do we block Karibo? I think so, actually. Funny enough, I think Pegasus will be the hardest fight in King Coliseum. Do you think so? Okay, I mean, could be. Because he will run over us because he has a lot of monsters with pretty decent stats. Yeah, we might just save the King Coliseum for next time. I'm still not quite sure about this. He senses 2 earth pieces on the right flank. You can send your dark pieces there. Yeah, I mean, you're right. That is actually not a bad idea. His right flank. Yeah, true. He will most likely do that as soon as he pops them. And they also have, like, Mystic Horseman has pretty decent mobility, so we need to be careful for that as well. And also, of course, we'll have to watch out for the blue eyes. That's a given. Okay. Let's see what's gonna happen now. Okay, we will place them off here, because then we can also SP it with Karibo next turn. So then everything's properly lined up. And now, I don't know if I ever told this, probably I did in at one point in these runs, but back when I was a kid, I was so convinced that these little lightning tiles... Look, dude, I'm talking for 2 seconds and Seto's interrupting me. Dude, I need to get my hands on this freaking randomizer. I was so convinced that these lightning fields on the floor would actually damage non-lightning, non-thunder pieces the same way they do on Tristan's stage. That I never questioned that for years and years until I finally, after so long, just placed pieces on these tiles and then realized, hey dude, I'm not getting damaged. What the hell? And you'd think I would have realized this earlier because Seto is also running over these things with his pieces. But I for some reason I didn't. I just did not realize that. Oh my god, would you shut up, dude? What the hell? How rude. How rude can someone be? Dude. Insanity. Insanity. There's no respect for the elderly anymore. Incredible. Disgusting behavior. Okay. Now let's get serious. Okay, I mean, we could move forward like this. Maybe a save slot, a save period, just in case. But this thing is a bit scary. Not gonna lie. Let's move forward with a symbol. Abel says, I don't think Pegasus will be hard because of the types of strong pieces. It's because of the strategy. Every other opponent in stage 5 trickles down the pieces in some way, not Pegasus. That is true. That, I mean, I would argue Seto in the last run with Tristan, and also Gate Guardian, Jesus. I think those were the ones, right? Where Seto gave us a lot of trouble. He also almost refused to trickle down his monsters. Like, I think he would do it if you bait him properly, and Pegasus probably wouldn't even then, but it was quite the experience. I do remember that. Okay, and he... Wait. Oh, he... Did we have a shield on this? I don't quite understand, but I don't think we even have to. Save state 5. Slot 5. This time I should have said slot, and I didn't. Coliseum, but it's okay. So far so good, honestly. That's not half bad. They look like they should do damage. I agree, I still think they look like that, but they don't. Which is cool. I think it adds a bit to the aesthetic, and I think this map definitely needs a few of these things. Otherwise it would be very grey and just aesthetically unappealing. I still don't enjoy this stage all that much, but I know some of you guys actually like it a lot. So, I mean, that's fair enough. It's still a matter of taste, isn't it? But Emil says he has a clear move and cover strategy. Merrick 1 had the same at the start, but then the AI threw by focusing down the symbol. Yeah. Sometimes the symbol can make really weird things with the AI. It can, you know, it's like... it's making them an offer that they cannot resist. At this point, your monsters are maxed out, so you can trade blows pretty well. The creep ability is clutch, yeah, for sure. It's just that we don't have a lot of attack output, but I think this is balanced out pretty well, so it will feel a bit more fair. Instead of the otherwise very easy experience of just rolling over any opponent with strong attacks, except if they counter your element. Do we go for this? I think we do. Let's do something like this, even though it really does not matter. Okay. I think this is solid. We will get rid of Shadow pretty quickly, I think. Honestly, I've played this game so many times where I was using the darkness symbol over the years that every time I see light monsters, in particular light monsters that appear a bit stronger, like the blue eyes pieces, I always get the feeling that they are like these brick walls that you need to chisel down with 4 or 5 attacks because they're so strong defensively. But if you don't play darkness and they don't get any advantage like buffs or something, they're no stronger than any wind monsters with similar stats, right? They're just, you know, I mean, blue eyes in particular is a strong piece, of course, but I think you know what I mean. It's just that they feel so respectable because I've had the disadvantage against them because I've been playing darkness so many times. For whatever reason. Okay, let's just go for this attack. I only cleared the game with Dark Symbol once, I mean, fair enough. At this point, your monsters... sorry, I was used water and wind. Yeah, I mean, I did use water the first time, but I didn't get very far back then, but that was probably due to my age and not necessarily due to the quality of the pieces I was using. Truth be told. Okay. Nice. Going well. Going nice and that. Okay, now we need to figure out how we're going to spread our attacks a bit. Because this thing has a lot of defense. Okay, we'll need 4 attacks. Presumably. 4 non-darkness attacks. Should we send in Exodia like this? I need a save state for this, just in case. Okay, now we can finish him off like this. And I think Karibo is not going to do a lot of damage to Blue Eyes White Dragon, but it will still matter for the next turn. And once this thing is out of the picture, you know, there's still another light monster with a considerable amount of defense, but you know, 38 damage is still 38 damage. Next turn, one of these attacks will finish it instead of 2, so huge difference in my eyes. Alrighty.
I won't be humiliated.
Okay. Yeah, they're also not dealing a lot of damage in return, so that's always a decent thing when you play against light opponents if you don't play darkness monsters exclusively. Oh my god, I just think back to the Exodia run against the Shizu and I'm getting nightmares again. I think this run has traumatized me for good. So this piece finishes his light monster, like his blue eyes. We got 2 darkness attacks on his horseman, his mystic horseman, which should be enough, right? Yeah. And this moth It's not gonna get destroyed by the next light attack, I don't think so, even though I didn't pay attention as to how much damage it actually did. And we might even be able to set up... Wait a minute. This thing moves 3 tiles? Dude. If you would have asked me what the movement and attack pattern of this thing is, I would have said 2-2. Like 2 linear and 2 linear, like what the hell? I had no idea. But okay, we're gonna take it. That's fine. Emil says, I wouldn't mind learning to mod the game to make my own version. I already have written out papers for how I would make the normal run, New Game Plus run. Dude, that sounds amazing. I actually have a lot of thoughts about making my own mod for Forbidden Memories. Partly because I'm a really big Digimon fan, and the first Digimon mod for Forbidden Memories has really felt disappointing and boring to play. There's another one, maybe that one is way better, but I definitely feel the urge of kind of using a game mod like this for a game that you already like a lot as a creative outlet. I think is a great thing. And if that tool's available, and I think Margin is planning on making some tools as well that should make creating your own altercations for the game and a separate version way easier. You know, why not? I would also be interested. Of course, I would love to make my own mod for CMC as well. Dude, I think this community for this game would flourish so much, like once he releases these tools, whenever they're ready, which will probably take a bit, but of course, that's only fair because it will be quite a substantial thing. It's going to change the landscape of CMC content for good. But there he is, guys. Kaiba. Opponent number 20, down, only 5 more to go, and there is Cockroach Knight, level 9. That's actually pretty cool. All pieces in our team are maxed out right now. Level 9, symbol, all monsters. And now we can kick things off into the King Coliseum, but I think I will end this journey for today here. We won't advance any further today because I think since Pegasus probably, I think you're right, he will be a bit of a difficult opponent. I think I want a fresh mind and a fresh start and a fresh strategic, like a full strategic thinking tank whenever we face him next week. So this is what we'll be doing next time. Maybe we can I'll probably just stay online a bit, hang out with you guys, have a bit of a chat of what we can do in future streams and potential things that we can do next time. So I think if things go well, we can clear the King Coliseum and finish Grandpa's run relatively quickly. Probably in a matter of like 2 hours or something. And then there's still, like usually I stream somewhere between 3.5 and 4 hours. So then there's still time to explore Magic Bomber's randomizer tool. And we can already collect a few ideas on what we could do with the tool. I'm thinking of doing something like a fresh run. And probably maxing out all opponents' monsters to level 9. It's just a question of, do we randomize things? Do we randomize things at all, or do we just keep it classic and just change the levels and stuff like this? And the AP values and everything like that, so that the monsters just, like the enemies have just, like a proper New Game Plus experience, but with a fresh save file or something like this. And if we did something like this, it's also the question of what kind of symbol would you like to see? What kind of monster setup? Should we combine it with like a themed challenge or something? The possibilities are endless, aren't they? Majiwama said, I just caught this. Reach out to me if you're interested in modding. I've been modding this game like a madman. I think Majiwama is the person to ask for this. So if anyone else should be interested in something like this, I think Majiwama is the person you can hit up. Yeah. I've got nothing more to add to this. I have no experience in modding myself, but it's great. We have people like you in the community. I really appreciate it. I will want to have a bit more will and strength for a new project. Yeah, I mean, I think these projects take time, especially when you're new to them. So I think waiting for an opportunity where there's enough mental space and also enough time that you can dedicate is probably a good idea. It's like, don't overwork yourself or like take too many things at once. I know from experience that this can be quite a stressful thing to do, and I'm actually struggling myself with doing that all the time. So I think doing it at a time point where you know it's going to be a bit chill with other things is a good idea. Guys, that was a nice stream today. I'm very satisfied with the progress we made. Did I save? I think I did. Let's listen to the music in regular speed. So I think we can then experiment a bit with the randomizer and maybe do some theme challenges on top of that. Aside from the randomizer shenanigans, we can always do some other regular challenges that are still on the table. Are the dinosaur challenge, a personal thing of mine that I would really love to do just for the memes of it. And maybe something like anime deck themed runs, like we were talking about which monsters Yugi was using in the anime and which of them are in this game. Maybe we can do like a bit of a collectathon thing. We can only use monsters that Yugi used, but only one copy of each, so it doesn't become like a Kuribo run. And then we have to get every single monster that he used in his anime deck, or something like this. Like add a twist on it that's just not just about survival, but also forces us to do like some evolutions or some leveling that would not be optimal in terms of just raw gameplay and beating the opponents. I'd have to think about it. Maybe I can come up with some nice ideas. And of course we have the use the wrong symbol challenge, use only level 1 pieces challenge and stuff like that. I think we have enough content to feed for this game, and I definitely plan on switching out the games a little bit, play some Tag Force games, some challenges over there. Probably first time Falsepoint Kingdom ever. I think that would also be a cool video. A lot of you seem to enjoy that, so yeah. I think we have a lot of cool things we can still do. Just not enough time, man. Just one stream, a couple of hours every week. But as I said, the frequency will increase at some point, probably later this year or next year. But we will stick around here and we will do some nice Yu-Gi-Oh! Shenanigans. I always wanted to make it a proper game with coherent strategies in every fight and scaling. Okay, like you mean serious business. That sounds lovely. You'll need a lot of MP if you want to use Yugi's tech pieces. Fair enough. I mean, that would also be part of the challenge, wouldn't it? Because you couldn't use your whole team every fight. I'll think of something. Maybe like a Yugi challenge would be a nice thing to also round off this whole thing of character-based challenges. Because I don't know if there are many more characters left that are really worth pursuing from this game. That would actually be interesting to see. Tristan was a nice meme and also pretty fun. And Grandpa MUTO is a bit challenging, a bit more grindy, but also it's the challenge that makes it intriguing, right? So I think collectively we can think of a lot of things, but I'm glad we are pushing the boundaries of this game and the content we can make around that. But guys, that is going to be it from me today. My voice is completely ruined. I was teaching a few students today, not as much as on other days, but still the voice is completely in shambles. So thank you to every single one of you, especially my people who are coming in every week, almost every week. You know who you are by now, my regular viewers. Thank you for returning to the stream and just having fun with me. Honestly, it's such a great experience. I'm looking forward to it every single time. So thanks to all of you. Also, thank you to everyone who was just a silent participant, as always. I appreciate every single one of you, even if you don't type a single thing in the chat. And also, a separate thank you to anyone who was new today and also instantly came into the chat to say hello and just talk about their experiences with this game, with Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. Yeah, I had a blast. I hope you had some fun too. And I hope I'll see a lot of you next time. Have a nice evening, have a good night, and have a wonderful weekend. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Cheers.